6 o'clock. Good morning, live from the Circa Sports at the Mint Kentucky Downs studio. I'm Justin Hawkins. Some Titans injury news yesterday before training camp gets started. Right tackle J.C. Latham and safety Imani Hooker both were put on the team's PUP list with reportedly lingering issues from the spring and is not supposed to be long-term. Also, the Titans have signed tackle Zachary Thomas and waived tackle Ryan Hayes. In other NFL news yesterday, the Panthers second-year outside linebacker Nick Scorton, who went down in day one of practice yesterday, suffered a torn ACL. Per Cameron Wolf. Scorton is seeking a second opinion, but if the ACL is confirmed, will have surgery in the coming weeks, and his season is over before it can get started. Also, former Vanderbilt Commodores quarterback Diego Pavia was released yesterday from the Ravens. The move was made to make room on the 90-man roster for newly signed center Ethan Posick. And tomorrow night, Nashville SC takes their MLS-leading 39 points and 5-game winning streak on the road as they face Orlando City SC in Orlando with kickoff set for 6:30 p.m. You can hear the match, of course, right here on 104.5 The Zone pregame. Get you started at 6 o'clock. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you got to go to USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Good morning and happy Friday. Welcome in to Ramon and Will on your radios and your smart devices, Facebook Live, YouTube, Twitter, or Twitch, your 104.5 The Zone app from beautiful Middle Tennessee on this Friday, July the 24th. What can rookies expect at their first training camps? Well, we have someone who went through that, who can talk about that. His name is Ramon Foster. Brent Hubbs talks Vols at 7:20 this morning, giving us the story and the background on new Vols commit David Gabriel George. We go inside the film room on Robert Saleh's new Titans defensive scheme, and Ron Slay joins the show. He's been jet-setting all around, as always. He's just had his 3HL teammates with him this time. In Tampa Bay for SEC Media Days, he will stop by at 9:20. Your phone calls at 615-737-1045. Ramon Foster, Justin Hawkins, and Will Bowling. Good morning, gentlemen. How we doing?
We're good, man. Good morning, Will. Happy Friday. We made it again. Hawk was yawning his face off early when I came in.
Now you're going to bring it to the air.
I am going to bring it to the everything.
Always. We bring everything to air.
We do. I mean, you yawning ain't a bad thing. We understand the circumstances.
Look,
That's
all day yesterday, I thought it was Friday.
Did you really?
Yes, it was a bad day yesterday.
I feel you.
All day yesterday. I had to convince myself that it was Thursday, and it was
Sorry to hear
every
that.
time I did that, it was a bad day.
I've said for years now that Thursday is the new Friday.
Yeah, it is. No, straight up.
Thursdays are great.
The way I celebrate those days in general is like, yeah, Thursday, I'm really excited for what the weekend is. Friday, I'm like almost just like, okay, we're walking into it. But I got one question, Hawk. Like, did you imagine it being like this? Good or bad?
Oh, gosh, that's a hard thing
It's
to
a
answer.
deep question for 6 in the morning.
I know, right? Well, I mean, I've been up for a while.
You have been up for a while.
If it wasn't my alarm waking up, it was the baby waking up. I would have to say yes and no.
Okay.
I prepared myself for like a lot of things that would happen.
Yeah.
But you just can't ever prepare yourself for what actually happens.
That's
because
the
it's
part.
quite a bit different than what you can ever imagine. Like you can imagine, oh yeah, you're going to wake up a few times at night. Yeah, okay, sure. But then when you actually wake up, your body's like, you got to get up.
It's kind of what
You don't want to get up, but you got to get up. Like my body says you're not getting up, but my mind says you have to get up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's kind of what the rookie's going to go through in this training camp.
There you go.
First time.
Talk about that coming up in a few minutes.
We
No,
will.
you're a rookie to fatherhood, so that does make sense.
That's so true.
Yeah.
He's got zero game plan for what to expect.
And if you change enough diapers quickly enough, you may be in the running for Rookie of the Year.
Offensive player of the year, maybe?
Perhaps.
Okay, I was going to
Perhaps.
say I would
MVP,
think
you're not a quarterback.
Jordan
so
would be in MVP. Wife would be MVP.
I would say that's absolutely the case.
1,000%.
Wife is the quarterback.
Easily. And you're
just a good wide receiver one. Trying to
quarterback
win
league.
Rookie of the Year.
Yes, that's all he's trying to do at this point. He might have a good run game depending on how he goes to the store, though.
Good point.
You see what I'm saying?
Good point. Yeah.
Not a bad place to be. I will say, too, I just want to apologize to all my coaches. My high school coaches, middle school coaches, the ones that I thought like I knew what I was doing.
Oh, that's nice of you.
Coaching these days, okay? And I
You
think
are.
we know this by
Freshman
now.
football coach, coaching offensive line.
Brother, every day, y'all. If like my new day and new experience is not like yours, of course. 'Cause these are older boys that act like this. Okay.
Yeah.
We're doing our thing, and I'm just watching them around the weight room, okay? And I realize, like, now, like, I'm fully, like, old head type, because when I try to teach them stuff, I'm onk. Big time onk right now.
Huge.
Every time I try to tell them something like, you should do it like this, they're looking at me like, oh, God, get the heck out the way, man.
I saw a tweet yesterday for the unk phrase, if you're a Gen Z person or around Gen Z, that says, if you're closer in age to LeBron than Bronny, you're unk. If you're ever curious on what gets you there. So most of us would be unk.
Most definitely there, okay?
Anyway, continue.
It's those parts of it. I'm definitely I'm I'm in between, like, understanding what they do and how they are, the younger kids, like my players.
Yep.
But I'm also of the nerve stage to just be like, why are y'all like this?
You understand what they do, but not why they do it.
Exactly.
And say the things they say and have the little bits they do. And I love a good bit, but
I do too.
Freshmen in high school have a lot of bits.
Insane amount of, like, non-comprehension that's going on at practices daily, okay?
Sure.
So we lifted yesterday before practice, tried to get it in, get a good burn in. And we were a bit off schedule, too, with the weight room. So many kids. We got, like, almost 55 kids on the freshman team.
Wow.
Cool. So the weight room get a little crowded. Time gets a little long. Man, we had one of my offensive linemen yesterday. We have on shoulder pads. So shells are on. But coaches tell him, hey, we got to go to the field. We're on the clock. We got to roll. For stretch. Do you know what this big teenager did, okay? And the only reason I say big teenager because he's an offensive lineman.
Okay.
And you're no longer a child.
Okay.
He goes to the football field with shoulder pads, shoes, and just his spandex on. No pants, no shorts, no anything. And we as coaches are just looking at him like he can't be serious right now. Just, how do you forget your pants, Will? You know what I'm saying? Like, how do you as a teenager forget your pants? And for my thought I had, I was just like, I apologize to my coaches because I know I used to do dumb stuff like that as well. And it's just a new story every single day, and I love every single bit of it, man. It's the pads when it comes out, it's funny, but I was just shocked because he was probably so worried about getting his pads on, he just simply forgot his pants.
Those were the worst days when you would forget something you needed. And there was just no way you were ever going to go back to get it because you couldn't drive yet.
Yeah.
Or you may not have had the time during the day. Like during the school day, that was the worst feeling ever. Like there were multiple times where I would forget my running shoes at home.
That's tough.
And I would have to find a time, either like lunch or study hall, or just have my parents bring like something. And like, Coach, I forgot my shoes. Like, how the heck do you forget shoes? No clue. But in this case, yes, the pants, that's, I would even say, a bit more egregious than forgetting shoes.
Yeah, no doubt about
I've
it.
definitely forgotten my cleats before.
You have?
Oh, definitely.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, I'm sure in sports where you have to wear cleats, I'm sure that's also a thing, too.
It is.
Well, it's even worse, too, because what are you just going to practice with shoes on? Like, you just slipping everywhere.
We have a kid out there doing
that. Doesn't seem that bad to those of us that don't play. So, I mean, I've never played soccer before. That doesn't sound that bad.
It's awful.
Yeah,
It's awful.
It's bad, man.
Interesting.
I knew also if I forgot something, I had a no-call policy. My mom was not bringing anything to the school. So whatever the punishment was, I just already knew in the back of my mind, don't even waste your time calling. Just suffer the punishment that coach is going to give you after practice because that's the only excuse you have.
Well, transitioning from your football practices with an offensive lineman that was missing something, Tennessee Titans right tackle J.C. Latham will be missing from the start of training camp. The Titans have placed tackle J.C. Latham and safety Amani Hooker on the team's physically unable to perform list. Players on the PUP list can come off the list at any time. So this is not a major concern yet. And on Thursday as well, the Titans signed tackle Zachary Thomas and waived tackle Ryan Hayes. Rookies reported to training camp yesterday at the Vanderbilt Health Football Center. Coaches are scheduled to report on Monday. All other players are scheduled to be there on Tuesday, and practice begins Wednesday. Reports out there, Ramon, are that this is something lingering from the spring that is not long-term, not considered to be serious for either player. But what was your initial reaction seeing this news yesterday?
My initial reaction was, no, not JC. It's just that moment. Is the way he started the season last year with an injury. I feel like in week one, you don't want to see that continuation going into this offseason or this training camp as well. It's just one of those small, tedious things that you put it in the back of your mind as far as his reputation. And here's the thing. He's never really had this reputation before. So you have to ask the question away from college or by himself, like, why are you having these issues right now? And what is your adjustment as a young pro to not have these lingering effects of injuries that transition from OTAs to training camp? Like, and again, we don't know what it was. We don't know if he's got something cleaned up, whatever the case may have been. But it just puts it in the back of your mind. See the comment, what's wrong with JC now? You know, it's just always those types of conversation, and you want him to kind of clear that up, and hopefully it comes through his play this year.
Yeah, I just don't want him to become the kind of guy who's always battling something. And you'd obviously rather get this thing done in July than later on, whatever it is. Yep. You'd rather move on now. Certain players get afforded the luxury of this being a non-story. And, I mean, honestly, Amani Hooker is that kind of player.
Yeah, no doubt.
And he has also battled injury as well through a lot of his career. But Amani Hooker has also performed at such a high level when he has been right and has been on the field that you worry less about him. There's less of the reaction happening for Titans fans thinking, oh, here we go again on Amani Hooker, despite the fact that actually he does have a bit of an injury history. But it's such a big year for J.C. Latham that it does feel unfortunate that you are starting off such a pivotal make-or-break season on this foot.
And that's what it is.
It's unfortunate more than anything.
It is unfortunate. And like you say, you just don't want that label attached to him. Like, oh, here we go again. Or the idea that this is a guy, and you said it, that doesn't have a strong reputation as far as health so far. And the rookie wall hit him his first year. Last year, he started off the season with the hip injury up in Denver, and it kind of lingered. The lingering stuff, man, is something that you got to ask yourself. If it's a small issue, then why is it continually, moving through the season or through the offseason, stuff like that? And my next concern would be, okay, if he's got something going on right now, and I know guys get in football shape in training camp, but how has your offseason trainer been able to be up to date when it comes down to being prepared for camp, too?
Well, and beyond that, I mean, my question, Ramon, is are we going to do the same thing we did with JC last year where we're thinking, what if he wasn't battling something? Because, I mean, are you going to end up being 100% when training camp starts? Is this something that you are waiting for it to totally go away before you're able to practice again? Because then that brings up your point as well. Like, are you in football shape, and are you ready when week 1 rolls around? So either way, I think this is a yellow flag. I don't think it's a red flag.
Yeah.
I really don't think it's a red flag. I don't think it's a major issue. But I do think it's a little bit of a caution flag to say, such a big year. This is not the way to start it.
No.
Not the way to start it.
And then here's the other part, too, with a new offense, new coaches. It'll be a new guy beside him is competing at right guard as well to try to find out what that cohesion is between he and JC. And again, if he starts off training camp within a weekend, cool, there's plenty of time to get up to speed.
That we could live in that world where before pads even come on or as pads come on, he's out there. Maybe that's the plan and we just don't know it yet.
And the other part of it is if they disclose it to us when the coaches speak next week, then is it upper body, is it lower body? Or is it just something within the shoulder that he feel like he can deal with, or an elbow issue? Like, I don't know.
Not every injury is created equally.
No,
so it's hard to really form a strong opinion about this without knowing the details.
And the one part that I hope for when it comes down to it, that it doesn't affect his football conditioning as far as him being able to be in shape. Like, it's one thing to want on a run in the water treadmill if there's a lower body injury while you're rehabbing. If it's upper body, he's, still able to run and do his thing. I feel more confident in the fact that he will be available to training camp. But again, this offense should ask a lot of guys, and I think there needs to be big steps taken as a whole, and having now, just like you said, yellow flags at right guard and at right tackle before training camp start, because you don't know who the right guard is, and your starting right tackle is slow out the gates.
The more padded practices that he misses, the louder the saxophones get.
The padded practices.
Padded practices are the premium important practices for the big guys. More so than skill position players. And we're not that far removed from Nicholas Petit-Frere, Dylan Radin's training camp battle a few years back where I believe, wasn't it NPF who was a little bit later in getting back out there, and he still was the day one starting right tackle,
But
with less time. But again, look at what he looked like when he was out there.
yeah.
So that being said, not a major concern. It may end up once we get more details on this being something that's extremely minor that doesn't impact him by the time week one rolls around. I think the bigger concern for me is not the practices he's going to miss at the beginning. It's the fact that something lingered this long. After a season where there was an injury lingering most of the year for J.C. Latham, where you and I are asking ourselves in the offseason, what could have been? Mm-hmm. How much bigger of a step forward could J.C. Latham have made last season if he hadn't been hurt at the beginning of the season in Denver?
Do you recall in college any of these types of things popping up? I genuinely don't.
For JC?
Yeah, for JC.
I don't.
I
He didn't have anything.
He did not.
I looked it up.
Okay.
He's only had one injury, and that's this hip injury last year, and then whatever this is going on currently.
So again, like
He's not really an injury guy.
Exactly.
Except for now.
And that's why I bring up the question whether it's actually just wear and tear happens too. Like sometimes you got to get stuff cleaned up because the deterioration of what happened in college, and then you start suffering from it in the NFL. So it's that part. It could be something cleaned up. It could be something that have happened while he's been playing in the league. So I guess the point is this, though. Rookie year, like I said, it was the wall for the most part. You could tell he was just dog tired. Terrible season. That weighs on
Moving over to left tackle.
Moving over to left tackle, you have those adjustments. But last year was the back and forth side of the injury, and this is a big year for him. That year 3 jump, and it's just a conversation is the way I look at it. I'm with you. Yellow flag, not even close to a red.
Our YouTube chat, not a fan of this news. One commenter says, it all started when Big Jeff punked him. He doesn't want to be here. Yeah. I feel like that's a little bit of an overreaction.
That's overreaction.
And another commenter says, nothing should be lingering right now. If one of these replacement tackles whiffs a block and Cam gets knocked at his shoulder, I swear to gosh. Let's keep our powder dry. Let's pump the brakes a little bit. Let's just make sure the brakes are still there. We're going down a hill. We got to tap them to make sure they still work. The fact of the matter is that things do linger.
Yes, they do.
From OTAs, minicamp to now. It's not that long of a break. It feels like another calendar year away, but in reality, the offseason program was about 5 weeks ago.
Yeah.
It is conceivable to think that something could linger from then to now. Let's wait and see what happens. With the yellow flag waving in the air, that I am a little concerned by this, but not overly worried.
Treat it like the World Games yellow card. I mean, you still get to play, right? Well, it's just a warning. Just a yellow card real quick,
We still have
man.
all the same expectations, all the same hopes for J.C. Latham. We've been given a little bit of a warning.
Just a little bit of a warning.
This is a yellow card.
Like,
Way to bring it back to the World's game.
This is what I'm saying. Well, I got you. Okay,
You do have me.
I'm your pusher man when it comes down to soccer. But the one comment you read at the end right there is where this entire offensive line has to deal with it. It is, I swear to gosh, if one of these replacements tackles whiffs and get Cam hurt. It's not only just that, but JC having the ability to come back full strength when he does.
That's why we're even talking about this.
Look like you're ready, I guess, is the other part of it as well. And if it's lingering now, you take time off, then get it fixed before you fully come back. And here's why I also would stand on this too. If he takes longer to get healthy, I'd much rather have him do that than to have him in and out of the lineup.
Well,
if
right.
He gets that
because
far
right now the consequences of him not being healthy are Cam gets tackled in two-hand touch versus in the season.
Yeah, man.
If you're not healthy and you're playing, Cam gets tackled.
Don't rush it back is where I'm at. Yes, 100%.
No, yeah, get healthy.
Get healthy is where I'm at. And again, we don't know if this is a pinky, a wrist, an elbow, a knee, ankle, or whatever the case may have been. It could just be a hamstring. Who knows? Conditioning has been a big part of this offseason, this period of the offseason. So it could just be that, and he's just got to get right.
Live for the 104.5 The Zone Circus Sports Studio, Kentucky's largest sports book can now be found at Circus Sports at Kentucky Downs. What can rookies expect from their first training camp that they reported for yesterday? We'll talk to Ramon about that coming up next. Ramon Will on 104.5 The Zone. It just felt like my alarm went off again.
I'm not
Ramon
gonna lie,
Foster,
I had a
Will
little
Bowley.
PTSD from that.
What in the world did I just listen to? What is this?
It's from Nas. Hate me now.
Nas, yeah, you can hate me now. That's what training camp should be, the theme song. Yes. You've heard. Dun, dun, dun.
Okay. I didn't like the alarm clock part of it at the beginning. I'm already awake. I don't need to be woken back up. 615-737-1045, our number. Ramon Foster, what can rookies expect for their first training camp? The guys reported yesterday. What have the last 24 hours been like for Titans rookies?
Man, report day, a lot of intel. First and foremost, just information on top of information, getting adjusted to your rules, your schedule, learning that schedule. I think is the first part of it. That was what I was most nervous about going into it is, you know that coaches are just drill sergeants when it comes down to what they're asking you to do and what the requirements are, even when you don't know the requirements of what they're asking. I've never been more confused than going into like training camp meetings as a young guy, even in college, and just saying, what do I do? And nobody, real pro tip right here, coaches, nobody tell the young guys what they should or should not be doing. You just got to follow the pack like a herd of cows is essentially what it is, man. And there's a lot of watch and don't talk moments that you have as a rookie. Or even in college. So there's a bunch of watch and don't talk moments and just pick up on what the veterans are doing. Then eventually you'll start to get that information. I would expect, like, for the rookies, there's their intro, then there's going to be the team intro. For a rookie intro, it is the basics of the weight room, the cafeteria, practice schedule, laundry, locker room etiquette, and just everything that's about housekeeping.
What's different about all of that in the NFL versus college?
It's the fact that those small things get you judged as well. You're no longer the big dog. You don't just throw your laundry.
I'm sure
at
people,
the managers.
freshmen get judged, right? Like,
what do you mean? What do you, as far
meaning
as,
the small things get you judged. Like,
oh yeah, they
I'm
do.
sure freshmen, like in college, get judged. But is that different in the NFL?
I think it's different in the NFL because these people have been at these places longer than you have, and they also
fair enough.
You know the respect.
You could have a 10-year vet versus a 3-year vet.
Exactly. And the shocker to me, and it's later down my line, I go and say it right now, is you're low on the totem pole. That, to me, is probably the biggest part that you'll learn going into the official fall training camp is how low on the totem pole you are.
What was the initiation thing you had to do as a rookie that you hated the most that you can talk about on air?
Because it was going to make me late for curfew. This right here.
Okay.
I didn't mind the singing the song part. I did Usher nice and slow.
Yep.
I did it in the cafeteria. You walk in the cafeteria and they're banging cups and plates. And a rookie, if you're in there,
It's a staple of Hard Knocks.
you better
Sing the
start
rookie
singing.
songs. Yeah.
Somebody better sing.
I can literally already see Justin going to find that song to change for the next break.
Yeah, yeah. But the part that I hated the most was them running our pockets. Like, and here's the thing, being able to like spend your own money is the vets like mostly will give you money to go pick up food and stuff like that. It was that part of having to spend your own money to go feed them after we have snack and meal and everything else. But it was when they wanted you to go further to pick up food that we didn't have on camp or near.
Well, and you guys were away
We were away.
at a college campus.
Yes, in a small town where every restaurant was 15 to 20 minutes away. But it was going to pick up food from a restaurant and you almost being late for curfew and trusting them that they will cover for you if the bed checker knocks on your door and you're not there.
So y'all had like bed checkers, like you're
10
on
o'clock.
a high school church camp.
10 o'clock. We're checking rooms.
Love that.
We're checking rooms.
It's kind of early too. Well, honestly, for how early y'all are probably out and getting ready to practice, it's probably actually about right.
And it's just because the coaches want to go to bed. That's what it is more than anything.
Fair enough.
The players can stay up gaming all night as long as you're in your room. But the coaches are trying to go to bed and make sure the camp is quiet. And here's the other part. Nobody's sneaking anybody in or around camp or the hotels you're in. That's the other part. From college all the way through the NFL, it is the idea of nobody's supposed to be in these dorms.
Nobody in, nobody out.
Nobody in, nobody out. That could be your podcast, videographer, whoever it could be. Nobody's supposed to be in the training rooms, okay, or in the dorms. But it was running errands, though. Hey, go to Walmart, pick this up for me. Hey, go to McDonald's, pick this up for us.
Would they send you on errands just to send you, or would these players actually need things?
Both.
Okay.
Because you are low on the totem pole.
Like, hey, come back with a rubber duck.
Yes.
Like, stuff like that.
I need tissue because I'm not using this hotel tissues right here. Go pick us up some. Hey, we want wings tonight. Go pick those up. And get you something too. I'm like, I don't have that much money, sir. Like, can you please give me
So even
coins?
Undrafted guys are having to do stuff like
Absolutely.
that. Wow.
Yes. And what they would ask, though, is this, though. They would ask the draft picks, hey, give them $250 so he can go pick up something. Like, it's that. Everybody plays a part. If I don't have the money, those two guys that came, AQ Shipley and Craig Urbick. AQ Shipley, who's now on the Pat McAfee show as well.
Yeah, that's right.
AQ Shipley and I came in together. So AQ and Craig will have to give me money, and I will be the facilitator of going to pick the stuff up. And it is by far the scariest things that you could do as a rookie is almost be late for curfew.
So what are the biggest differences in practice from college to the NFL that players are going to realize over the next few weeks? And to be fair, they probably have realized some of them in OTAs and minicamp, but what's different about training camp?
Meetings are all day long. So that to me was probably the biggest shocker is more walkthroughs and meetings than they've ever had before in their lives.
There's no class, obviously, but your class is football.
Yeah, film and recall of what happened the day before and from install earlier in the day gets more real and real by the day. They're going to give you probably about an eighth of the playbook on day one, and then you're going to go to a walkthrough the next morning, right? And then there's a break, and then there's another walkthrough before practice. And by the time you start practice, the install that you had from the previous night needs to be moving like clockwork. And your retention of information to be able to execute it so you can compete for a job, you feel that pressure. So
you're probably studying, too, while you're eating and you're getting back after errands and stuff like that, because you've got to know what you just learned that day, especially if you may have fallen asleep that day or dozed off for a minute. What's going on for the next day's walkthrough.
Absolutely. And here's the thing. You as a rookie, you might only get like 3 reps per period. Live reps.
But you got to know how to run everything in case you do get a full go.
And you also are judged as well. So like that's the
changing technique too with new coaching.
Absolutely. Yeah. But like for me, the worst part of it was like I had no security blanket. Like a guy like J.C. Latham or Cam Ward or even Pat Coogan, you know what I'm saying? Like those guys are draft picks. Mm-hmm. My mindset was I can't mess up
You got to go way above and beyond.
I have to. Mm-hmm. And me not knowing the playbook, they'll just say, well, this is why you went undrafted. You know, or like, this is why we picked you in the 7th round. You just believe in your mind everything is being critiqued. Mm-hmm. And that to me, I think was one of the big realities of it because I was a starter at the University of Tennessee. I didn't have to worry about these things. You know, like the idea that I wasn't going to be the starter was just silly to me. But when you get to the NFL, I might get fired and never play football again. So I feel like if you're real about chasing what the NFL is, I knew they only kept 53 men. And how I was going to become one of those guys was the biggest question mark I have. And I think the majority of the rookies coming in have to have that mindset is how do I find ways into making this team? And that goes to my next point. As to what rookie minicamp is for guys.
Sure.
You're part of every service group. Your scout O, your scout D, your scout special teams.
Meaning scout offense, scout defense.
You don't really get real reps anyway. And the coaches need to see you running down the field on kickoff return, punt return. They need to see how you're moving on scout defense because your role until you get one is to make the starters, the veterans, look good. Mm-hmm. And you can't, you're able to compete and stuff like that. But again, as I just said, most of the guys that are on NFL rosters were starters. They didn't play scout team. And it's probably been years since they've played scout team.
In college.
In college,
played scout team in college, right.
When will you think the last time that Carnell Tate was on scout team offense?
Even as a true freshman, he was a big-time 5-star recruit coming in. I'm not sure he ever has.
Like I ain't gonna say he was protected, but like most of the guys that are here haven't done scout team offense or defense in college.
Here's another question as far as that goes, because if, again, you're talking about, and I've seen it too, for people who have not been to an NFL practice before, what Ramon means is like you are going up as scout team offense for the defense at time to show them things for their starters, but you're also at times lining up where defensive linemen would line up.
Yes.
In O-line periods and in offense and defense periods where you are trying different things. How often would a player a veteran player that you were practicing against, whether it was a starting defensive lineman or maybe less so starting offensive lineman because you guys aren't going full speed within that kind of stuff. How often would a player not be going full speed and be upset with an undrafted player or a rookie that was trying too hard in practice and trying to show them up? Because to your point, you said the job of rookies and UDFAs and scout team guys right away is to make the vets look good.
Yeah.
How often would somebody be upset that you didn't make them look good?
Often. Because, again, you don't know what that guy is asking for. It's two speeds that guys. You got the veteran speed, and you got the ones where they get real chill.
That would be the challenging thing for me is that you're trying to make your coach happy by putting in the max effort and making a play, but you might burn a bridge with somebody in the locker room because you might have exposed that they're not in shape if you beat them on a given rep.
And that's a battle, okay? Like, it legitimately.
You're serving two masters.
You're serving two masters.
Like a biblical terms.
And that is part of it as well. And, like, the vet might just
Purely from an Old
with
Testament
you.
perspective is what I'm quoting
Sure,
there.
most definitely. I'm reading through it now, by the way.
Says God and money, the two masters anyway.
I'm telling you.
Hallelujah.
I can give you the doggone. Never mind. We're not going to get that bill. But what I'm saying is this. Yes, you are. You're trying to figure out what this veteran needs and what he wants, and versus what the coach wants as well.
Sure, right.
And it's just confusing. Like, it is. I told you when I retired, like, I felt like the weight of the world was off of me. It's because, like, you live in this world all the time. Like, what am I always doing? The next part, though, too, is a big adjustment, Will, that rookies have to realize. Expect minimum reps. Minimum reps in practice, but here's the other part. A lot of reps in the games.
Well, and that's where Will Levis kind of sits right now.
Yeah.
To be honest with you.
But think about where
And
he
he's
is.
not a rookie, but
where is he on the totem pole?
he had his reps turning the ball over as the starting quarterback, and that's why he is where he is right now.
And that's why I say, like, the league gives you what you show you deserve. And, like, as a rookie, you don't deserve anything until you earn it. And that's the same way for guys who are backups as well, like a Will Levis type trying to prove themselves. So,
Or in his case, third string.
yeah. So expect minimum reps until they decide to give you more. Hey, a veteran chooses that. Like, that is a good thing for Brandon Crenshaw-Dixon, right? For J.C. Latham being out. If he does stay out for an extended amount of time, he can legitimately get better day after day if J.C.'s not available to you. And that's good for the team, but even better for a guy like Brandon Crenshaw-Dixon.
Sure.
And the other couple of things, man, that I have on here that rookies have an adjustment for, it's just a different speed and physicality. Like, these guys move with minimum mistakes.
Even in practice.
Especially now. Like, think about how Jeffrey forklifted. Who was that at right guard a couple years ago? It was, he put him on his butt.
Oh, yeah.
Who was that?
Daniel Brunskill. Yeah, Jeffrey Simmons forklifted Daniel Brunskill.
Think about how fast Jeffrey has to be moving to do that.
I believe it was, right?
It was Brunskill.
Yeah.
He put him on his butt.
He was a vet, too. He wasn't a rookie.
So think about what the rookies have to experience and go through. Like, that is different. And not only just that, but wide receiver speed and how they break out of their routes and how they fake you out with their eyes and shoulders and bend and break down. Even cornerbacks, like, I'm sure it'll be a point in which Carnell's going to have a stretch, maybe a 2 or 3 days where the veterans are just on his butt. You know what I'm saying?
And two, like, at this point, it's always interesting to me how competitive the offense is with the defense until you can see another team.
Yes.
That is really your opponent.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like sometimes you're on the same team as a player who is on the other side of the football.
Yeah.
Really until the end of camp when you start to come together and you have a clearer picture of who is on the 53-man roster and who's in the practice squad.
Easily. So that to me was fascinating. Like, the first day, I got spun in a circle in pads. Just legitimately, like, it was so bad I got put up on the big board after practice. Like, hey, don't take it. And that was my last day of ever having a moment like that. And the last and most important thing, which I always emphasize to young guys, is this. It is a business. It's a beautiful game with a dirty business behind it. Cuts are real. Guys that you are roommates with and come into your rookie class with, some of them will probably never play football again a day in their life. You can lose your job. You can be fined. Everything matters. There are other people's salaries and lifestyles that are dependent upon what you do and how you perform as well. And the NFL culture, and I think pro culture, alerts you to that more because, again, you got guys that have been making $800 to $15 million a year for years now. And when you walk into that world, the reality of it is like, yeah, college is cool and we made our little NIL bread. But this is a different monster when you walk into the NFL. And one, don't get caught up in it if you can help it. But realize any slip up, any mistake of those things that we kind of laid out will have you out of this business quick, especially if you don't have any stock in the game.
For sure. Interesting. It's such a fascinating process. Training camp in and of itself is a very unique part of the calendar. It is different in so many ways from the week to week and the day to day of a regular season, and certainly of minicamp and of OTAs and of the offseason. But I imagine this is really where you become a football team. And this is where it sounds a little bit cliche and it sounds just overused. But I do think this is a scenario where the cliche is relevant, that this is where you build your team in a lot of ways. And especially for a franchise that is looking for progress and is looking to build an identity. Robert Saleh's ability to harden guys and to really build his style of football team starts next week.
Yeah, it does.
It starts really next week. He's done things, obviously, around the facility. He's put his own spin on things. He's had minicamp. He's had OTAs. But Ramon, this is really where he starts to go to work truly and fully, right?
And that's kind of what I mean when you walk in there as a young guy. Like you see, and it feels different. Like coaches started off with like a goal, and everybody has that goal in the back of their mind when you break from that first team meeting. Like, and it's just, well, like the way you described that, it really like is poetic almost in a sense on how you build this thing out. And it's going to have some heartache. It's going to have some hot days. It's going to have some really good days as well. And that's where you want to get by the end of training camp, where every day feels like, okay, we're building.
Starting to learn what guys are really made of.
Exactly.
Because you're pushing them a lot harder than you can in May and in June.
And I'll admit, too, like the way they have breaks in between like every 4 days and stuff like that, like you somewhat question like, okay, how many breaks is a lot of breaks? But again, player safety is a part of this. I love the days off as well. But like if you can be available every day for the guys that are still physically capable, and I do mean that because you look at the older guys that are in the league and you say, okay, that guy deserved days off. But if you are a young guy and you are capable of going, like you go. And that's the part we circle back to a little bit with like JC side of things. Like J.C. Latham's still a young guy. I still even look at Peter Skoronski, young guy. Every day matters for you to continue to be who you want to be as a player.
615-737-1045. It's great perspective and something I know our listeners enjoy hearing from you, and the ability to talk about your experience as a player. And I'm sure these things have changed a little bit as well since you entered the league. Not to call you old. Apologies.
No, it changes.
But it is a very fascinating process. And I think especially for rookies who don't know what to expect at this point of the process and 24 hours into being NFL rookies at a training camp. Good luck.
That's all you can really say.
Good luck.
And stay healthy.
You're on a roller coaster. Enjoy it. Get ready for the camera at the end of the ride.
Well, let me ask you a question real quick. Is that unfair, though, too, with how the league kind of pushes it out as quick as they can? You said
good luck. Pushes it out.
You said good luck, and I said also stay healthy because it's kind of lucky, too.
Best ability is availability. Can't make the club in the tub. All the cliches we used a few weeks ago in our Ramon Will draft on availability. I mean,
I know.
Part of your ability to perform at a high level is being able to perform, period.
Because it's a privilege.
I mean, I learned it too myself. And part of the reasons why I had a lot of injuries where I didn't do enough work in the summers and in the off seasons because I had to train by myself. And I had trouble motivating myself sometimes just running by myself. Like, there is some control, not always, but there is some control that you as an athlete can have over your body and your availability. The way you eat and sleep and take care of yourself, the people you trust to give you advice as trainers, the way that you train in the offseason, just training the right way.
Yeah.
Sometimes you could have someone that's probably giving you the wrong advice, like knowing who is giving you the right advice, who's in it for them, who's in it for you. Being able to take care of your body is a skill. And yes, there are exceptions. There are unlucky muscle injuries and bone injuries that you're just going to be able to do nothing about. But there are also things that you can control within that. And Yeah, I mean, it is a little unfair, but the NFL has never claimed to be a fair organization or a fair league. And so the reality of it is you got to control what you can control. And again, that's where we go back to J.C. Latham. I don't want him to become the guy who always has something going on.
Right.
We both knew athletes who were always like that, who just always had something. And it's not far enough into his career, in my opinion, to know whether or not he is that player or not.
Right.
But the reality of it is he is the player with the most to prove on the Tennessee Titans roster this year. And starting off on the PUP list is just a not ideal way to start a big training camp.
For sure.
615-737-1045. Diego Pavia was waived yesterday. Give you our thoughts on that and other NFL headlines coming up next. Hey, it's Will Bowling. Summer's heating up, and so are the career opportunities at Lee Company. Their team is hiring skilled tradespeople in HVAC, plumbing, electrical, sheet metal, and more. With 80-plus years in business, Lee Company offers competitive pay, top-notch benefits, and free training to help you grow. You can make your next career move your best one yet with Lee Company. So apply today at leecompany.com/careers. That's leecompany.com/careers. Lee Company has been trusted in Middle Tennessee since 1944. They are a multi-award winning great place to work, available 24/7 with 16 community locations in Tennessee, Kentucky, Alabama, and Georgia. Lee Company's got over 1,800 team members, and if you're interested in joining their team, head online to leecompany.com/careers. That's Lee Company, all you need. Ramon Will on 104.5 The Zone. Ramon Foster and Will Bowling, 615-737-1045. Matt on Twitter, Noseball, says, what makes at Ramon Will such a good listen is at Ramon Foster's ability to provide a unique perspective into NFL/college football life. Absolutely agree.
Appreciate that.
Very true. Love the perspective that you bring and the inside look into what it's like being an NFL rookie at training camp right now is the hot days and the long meetings and the singing.
I'm talking about 5 o'clock nights
Is here.
to like 11 o'clock, to be quite honest with you, if you're in your playbook.
When would you guys start film study?
Film study, 7:45.
Oh, that's not that bad.
But you got to go to the weight room and lift 4 times.
So that was before
But
film.
It's 2 rules, though. Like, rookies would have to go to the weight room before everybody else because by the time it's 90 in training camp.
Right.
So if you don't get your lift
you
in
can't
early,
everybody in there at the same
the
time.
vets come in, they get the machines before you do. Like, it's such a
Move aside,
mind. It's mental gymnastics, man.
Yeah,
It's
right.
like non-football stuff. Like, I've always been able to just get the bench press machine. Not in this league, you can't.
Yeah, it's
You
crazy.
should have lifted it in the morning, and you missed it weights today. Now you got to go run the next day.
Well, right now, Diego Pavia will not be able to use the bench press machine in Baltimore as he was waived yesterday. Oh, that's just, I'm not even trying to throw shade. That's just true.
I think we had a bet, too.
What's that?
You and I did on Pavia. We had it sometime.
Oh, did we?
We did. I told you.
Oh,
he
I
was gonna
totally
make
forgot
practice
about
squad.
this.
Yeah,
I don't think I
you
believe.
win it.
I think I said no.
Yeah, you win it.
Oh, okay.
You win it.
I mean, he still
don't know
could
what
make a practice squad somewhere else. I'll give him a little bit of benefit of the doubt.
But I said Baltimore. It was Baltimore.
Oh. Yeah, no, I was
Baltimore.
never super confident about him making the Ravens.
I thought he was at least the run style, the toughness, the preseason side of it as well. Like, he'd be a preseason storyline easily.
Diego Pavia is the first Heisman Trophy finalist in 12 years to go undrafted. He is now available once again to 31 other NFL teams. The Ravens still have 4 quarterbacks on their roster,
I didn't realize they had 5.
including Lamar Jackson, veterans Tyler Huntley and Skylar Thompson, and Joe, how do you say his name?
Fagnano.
Thank you.
Oh,
From the University of Connecticut.
Thank you to Bert for helping
the
with that.
one that was with the Jets.
Fagnano?
Yeah.
No, he's also a UDFA. He's from UConn.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That part right. So my mindset on this, like, release of Pavia, like, if they only had veteran quarterbacks in the room, I'm like, yeah, it's just a veteran room.
No, they chose UConn quarterback Joe Fagnano over him.
Exactly.
What is the immediate future for Diego Pavia?
And get past this stick, to be quite honest with you. Show that you are serious about playing football. Like, I know, like, fans, like, make fun of, like, the hyper offense. Well, this quarterback, you don't do this. Like, that's the same thing that Pavia's dealing with when it comes down to the offense. That's why we've been asking those questions about what Vanderbilt's going to be able to do with Jared Curtis, because his notoriety, his prestige that got eyes on him at Vanderbilt was his body and his ability to run. There's usually not really many contact running quarterbacks in the NFL like Diego Pavia. So it's the stick that, hey, I'm the tough guy. I can go do this because this is just a different league when it comes down to the hits you'll receive at quarterback. If he shows that he can be a drop back guy or he can be a really good roll out the pocket, set up Drew Brees type of quarterback, there's room for him in this league. But I'll put it this way. If Cam Scatterbo didn't have a unique talent of just being a meathead running through the middle of walls, he would be out the league too, because that stick doesn't really fly in the NFL when it comes down to can you do your job well. The good thing for Cam Scatterbo, he can do his job well enough and it's tough enough that it's attractive to coaches. A tough quarterback, it don't fly in the NFL.
How much does the off-the-field stuff and the posting a picture on Instagram saying bleep all the voters after losing the Heisman to Fernando Mendoza, how much does that hurt Diego Pavia's ability to stick in the NFL?
When you don't have NFL talent a good bit, just period. Like I said, his ability to be a Heisman finalist is very attractive to teams.
For the Vanderbilt fan, though, sitting there and saying, how can you have 334 total yards per game, be second among all FBS players in yards per game, leading Vanderbilt to all the success that you did and still not have NFL talent? What's missing from him that's lacking that he needs to have NFL talent?
The ability to run an NFL style of offense. Can he command the huddle? Can he make the throws and the plays, or is it all just predicated up on one thing? And I know that people be like, well, Michael Vick only uses leg. Michael Vick also had a cannon. When you look at, I put Diego Pavia in the same conversation as you would put Tim Tebow.
Well, and Michael Vick was faster.
Yes.
Pavia is more run through you than run around you.
Exactly. And it's the same way eventually, like I said, Tim Tebow got exposed.
Sure.
Like, until
he was a first-round pick.
That's what I'm saying. But it's only so far the stick can go. Like, that's my thing. Like, Tebow was exciting in college.
25th overall in 2010 out of Florida.
Very exciting in college. But when it comes down to what the NFL requires of you, like those passes that you throw in college, that window's a lot closer, a lot more closed in the NFL.
Well, and Diego Pavia is also smaller than Tebow was. Tebow was 6'2", 236.
And Pavia is
5'10".
5'9". Oh, 5'10". 5'10", 212, whatever this weight is. Like, that toughness just doesn't fly. Like, Cam Newton is able to do that because Cam Newton's like 6'4".
He's built like an action
240,
figure.
yeah, exactly. He can take that physicality.
He's built like an NFL linebacker. Diego Pavia is not.
But it's just you can be college great and not be good for the NFL, and that is totally fine. I've said this numerous times. I was college okay, but I thought I was really good in the NFL. Like, there was a difference in my college game as opposed to my NFL game.
I think the off-field stuff certainly makes it a bit more challenging because Diego is a quarterback as well.
Very much so.
It becomes more difficult for me to put up with the fact that there are cameras around your locker when you are next to my starting quarterback's locker if I'm an NFL team. It doesn't totally prohibit you from getting a chance somewhere else. I think the other thing is that his skill set is so specific to a couple of teams, Baltimore being one of them, that asks their quarterback to be athletes, that there are just not that many places where you are going to give a solid second option as a runner because of just how many teams ask their quarterbacks to be runners. Baltimore was an obvious choice as one of them.
It was.
Considering the offense for Lamar Jackson and the way that they ask him to play. I have been on the record since he signed with Baltimore. I think Diego Pavia's best chance of being an NFL football player is being Taysom Hill. I think his best chance is to learn how to be a runner, an athlete, a Swiss Army knife. I'm serious. I don't mean this as a dig. I'm dead serious. He's going to have to play special teams, Ramon, if he sticks on an NFL team. And I don't know if he's built big enough. Again, Taysom Hill is a bigger athlete than Diego Pavia is. I don't think he has the build to beat Taysom Hill. But if he's going to stick somewhere, he's going to have to be.
Yeah,
that's the way I see it. It's not a slight. It's just the reality of the situation. And clearly Baltimore felt the same way. They needed Ethan Posick, their center they just signed, longtime Cleveland Brown, on a one-year deal up to $4.5 million. And there you go.
He was the first one to go.
Taysom Hill's 6'2", 221. Again, Diego Pavia's 5'10".
But you see, like, the mental gymnastics that is, though. Diego Pavia goes from being one of the biggest stars in college football to the first cut on his team of 90 players.
Being cut in July does not give a very good signal about your ability to stick to an NFL roster.
And that's where it kind of can beat you down. But here's what we do know. That Vanderbilt community is going to take care of Diego Pavia.
Absolutely. Oh, my gosh.
He should get a statue.
As they should.
Yeah.
He's a legend.
Maybe I'm going too far, but I think he should get a statue.
And he has absolutely earned every bit of praise that he gets and every bit of loyalty that he gets from Vanderbilt fans. There's no doubt about it. Nothing is taking away what he did in college.
Absolutely not.
There are just different standards now in the NFL. 615-737-1045. Titans injury news ahead of camp. We'll talk more about it coming up next.
7:04. Good morning, live from the Circus Sports at the Mid-Kentucky Downs studio. I'm Justin Hawkins. Some Titans injury news yesterday before training camp gets started next week. Right tackle J.C. Latham and safety Imani Hooker were both put on the team's PUP list with reportedly lingering issues from the spring and is not supposed to be long-term. Also, the Titans signed tackle Zachary Thomas yesterday while waiving tackle Ryan Hayes. Other NFL news yesterday, Panthers second-year outside linebacker Nick Scorton, who went down in day one of practice yesterday, suffered a torn ACL per Cameron Wolf. Scorton is seeking a second opinion, but if the ACL is confirmed, he will have surgery in the coming weeks and his season would be over before it can get started. Also, former Vanderbilt Commodores quarterback Diego Pavia was released yesterday from the Baltimore Ravens roster. The move was made to make room on the 90-man roster for newly signed center Ethan Posick. And coming up tomorrow night, Nashville SC takes their MLS leading 39 points and 5-game winning streak on the road as they face Orlando City SC in Orlando with kickoff set for 6:30 p.m. You can hear the match, of course, right here on 104.5 The Zone. Pregame will get you started on 6 o'clock. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you got to go to USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Away we go to hour number 2 on your Friday morning edition of Ramon and Will. Hope you're having a great start to your day. Hope we can get you a little bit closer to your weekend. 615-737-1045 is the number. Brent Hubbs of AllQuest joins us in 15 minutes. Ron Slay at 9:20. A deep dive into the new Titans defensive scheme coming up in hour number 3. And your thoughts, as always, in the F&M Bank chat on Facebook Live, YouTube, Twitter, or Twitch. Ramon, the Titans have placed tackle J.C. Latham and safety Imani Hooker on the team's physically unable to perform list. Now, players can be taken off of the PUP list at any time during training camp. And also on Thursday, they signed tackle Zachary Thomas and waive tackle Ryan Hayes. Your level of concern for J.C. Latham is where as he begins a pivotal third season as the Titans' starting tackle?
Just because it's a big season, man, I go 4 out of 10. Like, I'm not halfway there, but I'm also hoping that when you start off on PUP for such a young player, man, that this is something that lingers on for a while, you know, or if it is an elbow and he got to wear elbow brace all year long, okay, cool, we can live with that. But if this is something lower body that's affecting his conditioning, then that's where you don't want him to start behind the 8 ball to where it's, okay, well, he's gets healthy, but the hamstring hadn't allowed him to condition. So now he's got to condition while being in training camp, and that also means probably missing more and more reps, whatever the case may be. We don't know what the injury is, just the fact that he's sidelined for what is reported, just a short little stint. But it's caused the Titans also, which training camp starts next Tuesday, it's caused them to sign an extra tackle. So that just lets you know there will be some time missed potentially.
Well,
that's just
it's not
one
an extra
replacement.
tackle.
Yeah, you're right.
They've switched out one tackle for another.
Yes. So we'll see what it looks like. I don't even want to speculate on it because, again, I know JC being on this list or reportedly being on this list just causes a big conversation around him, which there's already is one anyway because of how
he's J.C. Latham.
Yes, because he's J.C. Latham.
That's kind of my thing. This isn't a major concern for everyone, but J.C. Latham isn't everyone.
Yeah.
I mean, it is so important for everything to go right for J.C. Latham to make a big jump forward because we can't have the same level of play from J.C. from year 2 to year 3. There has to be an elevation. Mm-hmm. If you and I are going to give tackles so much grace as we do in their first 2 seasons, from your stated motto that just get me to year 3 for tackles in the National Football League, and really for offensive linemen as a whole, but more so for tackles because you are on such islands against so many fast and powerful edge rushers. Then when year 3 rolls around, rent comes due.
Rent comes due.
So if we're not going to crush you for not being consistent in years 1 and 2, we're not. I mean, you and I don't really crush players anyway, to be fair.
Yeah, we're mostly fair.
on very rare occasions. That being said, there's just a higher expectation. And this is a yellow flag for me. It's not a red flag. It is a yellow flag on J.C. Latham not being available. The fact that something has lingered from the spring to miss any sort of time is a little bit of a concern, considering how much he played through injury and had to get over that last season.
Mm-hmm. If you're just looking at the injury itself, minus who the player is, why are you not as concerned for Amani Hooker if he also has a lingering issue? Both are from the spring. What makes the difference if you just set the player apart?
It's a more pivotal season for J.C. Latham, who needs practices more than Amani Hooker does,
okay, so it's
in my opinion.
Just the upcoming season and what it could mean for him.
That's probably debatable because Amani Hooker is also learning a new defense.
Yeah.
He's more of a vet than J.C. Latham is. JC's going into year 3 and needs every possible step towards progress this season, in my opinion.
And I would also say position importance as well.
I would agree with that, too.
Granted,
safety's not very deep either.
No, it's not, but you feel
right
better.
Tackle is more directly related to Cam.
You feel better about covering up that spot as opposed to one of your 5 starting offensive linemen. And that's not minimizing Amani Hooker or the safety the position, but you also still say to yourself, it's glaring when you have a backup tackle in as opposed to a safety in those moments right there, especially when what you do as a defense is predicated on the front 7, the rush getting home. Like, you can create chaos to kind of hide your safety.
Sure.
You can create chaos from the opposing defense if your starting right tackle's not in. That, to me, is the difference. And the other part for me as well, Amani's got a lot of stock in this league.
True.
JC's got to earn more, man. He's still in the bye phase right now.
Right. The good thing for me is JC's not quite yet labeled as injury prone. This would be his, I guess, quote unquote, second injury. But to me, it just depends on how long that this issue lingers. And we're not going to find out exactly what the injury is until if it lingers into week 1 when he has to go on to the injury report.
Yeah, they have no requirement to tell us details.
Right. And if I'm not mistaken, last season, going into training camp, he had lost a lot of weight and was reportedly looking really well, but then developed a hip injury later in training camp and into week 1 with Denver, where this offseason going into OTAs, wasn't it kind of the opposite? It looked like he was a little bit overweight, maybe a little out of shape.
I wouldn't say out of shape. I would say
different.
Yeah.
Not what you wanted.
I don't even know if it's that. Like, it's just
either.
I think it was more just a continuation of the way his second season went.
Mm-hmm.
To say he's being heavily scrutinized. Yeah. J.C. Latham is just a player we're watching very closely. That's what I would say was kind of the story in mini camp and OTAs.
But it also bleeds into the conversation about the retention and development of first-round draft picks, too. For no other reason other than, 1, this is an injury situation, but 2, you're going into the 3rd season with no clear leap in year 2. And I know he ended the last 4 games of the season on a good note, right? But the totality of that season just didn't check the box for you, or you felt confident going into year 3. And that's where fans have those questions or concerns, or at minimum, you get a side eye from people like, oh, okay, I'm watching. It's the same thing. It's a yellow flag. That's what it is. Like,
it is. It is. And again, we are asking a lot of J.C. Latham, but I also believe we should, considering he was drafted in the top 10.
And that's it.
He didn't choose to be drafted in the top 10. So that's just the fact of the matter. But the reality is, with the talent that he has, to whom much is given, much is expected.
Yes.
And so, absolutely. There is a responsibility for J.C. Latham to not only be out there and to perform this year, but to perform well this year. And it's pivotal that he does, because you are looking at an offseason in 2027 where you would like to, at most, have to maybe just replace 1 tackle. It'd be great if you don't have to replace either of them.
Yeah.
And Dan Moore takes another step forward under new coaching and a new system, and so does JC. But the reality is, you don't want to be looking for 2 tackles next offseason.
No, you do not. So that's why it's important for him to kind of step up in this moment.
Mm-hmm.
And guys have come off PUP lists before and thrived. So all of this is new with JC.
He may be available for the first padded practice, and he looks great, and this was just to get him to 100%. Again, there's just a lot we don't know. So it's why I don't think it's responsible to wave a red flag on this, because we just don't know a lot of details.
Yeah.
The reporting around this is that it is something minor. He is expected to be on the field very soon. Great. The reality of this is that it is more of a story right now because there's nothing else to talk about. But that being said, for this specific player, it's a little bit of a concern considering how injured he was last season.
When I heard it on the zone yesterday, I was just like, no.
Same. My exact reaction was just no, not him.
That was just.
I mean, Ramon, if this is any other player not named Cam Ward, I'm not sure we are having close to this reaction, right?
Yeah.
Because again, J.C. Latham is the player with the most to prove on the Tennessee Titans this year. We admittedly are being pretty hard on him.
Yeah. But here's the same thing that we just said. If this was Peter Skoronski, be like, dang, I hope he gets back soon.
Be like, oh, okay, oh well. Because he played at a borderline all-pro level last year.
Exactly. But
J.C. Latham hasn't.
There's just no real answer behind J.C. Latham
That's the other
as
part of it,
important of a position he is. I think you brought up.
Because swing tackle is an equally big question mark as starting tackle.
This is a top 10 selection as well. And like I said, as far as franchise goes, you want this to check every box.
You need this to be a cornerstone player for your organization.
Like, I'm sorry, like you just don't get time like that when you top 10.
You are not afforded the luxury of the benefit of the doubt in this situation.
Yeah.
It's not fair. It's just the reality of where J.C. Latham is at this point in his career. Yeah. So we'll see. Hopefully it's something that doesn't linger very long. He's out there for padded practices and we move forward. But for right now, it is a player entering a pivotal season who is in the headlines.
For the naysayers, don't prove them right. That's all you're asking.
Mm-hmm. Let's go to Darrington quickly before we get to Brent Hubbs on the other side. Good morning, Darrington.
What up, Darrington?
Good morning, Savage. I got a bone pick with you from the other day. You made some comments that, ooh, boy. But first of all, listen, I know y'all got a job doing. Y'all doing a very respectful and nice and promising job. But for the un-PC folks, man, that man is soft. Y'all ain't asking him to do much. You asking him to do his job. And he's underperformed. Step it up. Use a top pick. You're supposed to protect the quarterback. Ain't nobody ask. Y'all ain't say, hey, we want you to come be a Pro Bowl player. You ain't asked him to go be Trent Williams. You asked him to do his job. And he has not done that yet. So you ain't asked him to do nothing special. You ain't asked him to go be Mario with the mushroom. No. Hell, just go be Luigi. But he ain't even do that. So, you got every right to go hard on him. If you did his job, then you wouldn't get gone hard on. Just that simple. I'm sorry. To me, I seen toilet paper stronger than that, man. And that's just what it is. And so my bone pick with you, Savage. The other day, I know you're a UT.
Darrington, we got to move quickly here because we do have a guest coming up on the other side. So whatever you got, we don't have a lot of time.
I love it. What you say?
All right. Well, listen here. Keep my bulldogs out your mouth. How about that? Now, y'all have a good one.
No, Darrington.
Darrington, thank you for the call.
Don't do that. Say about the bulldogs.
Bulldogs out your mouth. Okay.
It was probably about me speaking about Kirby and how he's a better motivator than he is position coach or coach. I say a lot about Georgia.
You do say a lot about Georgia.
We ain't got to play him this year.
And South Carolina, to be fair.
We don't have to play them this year, Darrington.
Brent Hubbs joins us.
Take that.
Coming up next. Ramon and Will on 104.5 The Zone, hour number 2 on this beautiful Friday morning. Ramon Foster and Will Bowling, pleased to be joined by our good friend Brent Hubbs of VolQuest and On 3 on this day where, Brent, the sun may be shining a little bit brighter still if you're a Tennessee fan after this week. How are you, Brent?
I'm doing outstanding. The sun is shining. I don't think it's because my wife thinks my tractor's sexy, but I think it may be because Tennessee football had a good week, right?
Certainly had a good week. Brent, I want to start and just give you guys at VolQuest your flowers on all of the coverage this week. Totally crushed it. The feature pieces, the exclusive interviews, the video of Austin there at Baylor talking to GGG. Yeah, I was just reading his piece this morning about why, going into more detail, DGG chose the Vols. And Ramon and I want to know where he got the cake, by the way, that looks like Neyland Stadium. It looks pretty awesome. I just wanted to start there. We tell people all the time, you guys are the authority on Vols coverage, and we are so grateful to be partnered with you all. And you guys totally knocked it out of the park this week.
Well, I appreciate that. Austin has been on that one for over a year. We all kind of followed his lead. He kept saying he had some deep-rooted ties with some people that he had developed a relationship with through Jamie and Theodore's recruitment and Gable Senda and some people at Baylor down there that had a pretty good handle on things. And Austin never wavered in kind of the thought and where things were, and we just sort of followed, his lead with it. And then, Coach Kimry at Baylor was just outstanding to deal with the last couple of weeks here and helping DGG manage through the process, and was kind enough to help us out with some of the coverage that we did there. And it was fun. You don't, in this day and age, you don't always get a lot of these. And what I mean by that is, a little bit of an old school recruitment where you got to go and talk to the people of influence and different people around, and can't just get it from the kid. And the schools didn't know anything, so nothing was leaking out of there. So it was fun. It was fun. And that family and David was great to us and really took care of us and was really good to us. So we're grateful and appreciative. And hopefully the Tennessee fans have enjoyed the stuff we produced here the last couple of days.
Well, Brent, I know we've talked about this recruitment for so long, and we've scouted the player, and I loved what you guys wrote, and you wrote about that game that he had against McCallie last year. And I think people can grasp that running for 450-something yards and 7 touchdowns against McCallie isn't just something that happens in today's era of Tennessee high school football. For you, just getting to know the player on the football field first and foremost, Brent, how rare of a talent is this, and how big of an impact can DGG have for Tennessee right away?
Well, I think he has to have an impact right away. You don't put the effort into this. And listen, money's a part of this. There's a financial package there that's hefty, and it was going to be hefty wherever he went. And, we've talked about it with David Sanders, and you talk about it when you go all in financially and you go all in on somebody like that, like they did in those two positions. That's like drafting a first-round pick. You got to play him. And I would imagine and I would expect that his impact, David's impact come next year will be significant in this program, and it should be. From a talent standpoint, I get a little queasy when I start asking people comps and people start throwing out names like Adrian Peterson, and they start throwing out, Jamal Lewis and different things like that. It makes me a little bit, uncomfortable, because I don't think that's really fair. And how realistic is that? Had a chance to visit with Eric Westmoreland, who went against Jamal Lewis when he was at Tennessee every day on the practice field, and goes against DGG now as a coaching linebackers at Baylor. And, he said the comp to Jamal, there's a lot of it's realistic. There's a lot of similarities between those two guys. And that's a lofty expectation, because Jamal in 97, when he burst on the scene, prompted everybody to go, well, why did it take so long for you to play? Because he was NFL ready, basically, coming out of high school, it felt like. So I don't know that it's completely fair, but that's certainly where the expectations are for people that are around him every day, go against him, coach him, and deal with him. They're not shying away from those expectations, and they're kind of leaning into them in a lot of ways. So the belief is that this is a guy with really good vision. He runs really aggressively. He plays pretty violently. He loves the contact part of it. But he also has good feet. He has good patience, and is a guy who can come in and make an immediate impact at the collegiate level.
Talking about Brent Hubbs is one of all question on 3 this morning. Hubbs, man, as Will said, congrats on you guys having all the content on this one. And it's so many details about this recruitment that is more than just fascinating. It's kind of eye-opening because everybody's made DGG's recruitment about the money. But Austin writes about Ohio State's running back coach trying to learn French. They offered his teammate to Ohio State, who wasn't on their radar like that, to try to get him in the fold. And Austin, the question I have to ask, like, the Vols must have done a really good job as far as trying to understand him, his speech. You know, he speaks French mostly, and is that part of what gave him and his family comfort about his ability to learn offense, communicate with his team and with his coaches? Like, it became more personal with the Vols and almost financial.
Yeah, no, I think, again, we can debate how much money. I don't know exactly what the Tennessee package is or the Ohio State package was. Ohio State offered him more money than they'd offered a running back, coming out of high school. So did Tennessee. How close were the numbers? Everybody's going to debate all of that. And I understand where the Ohio State side of things is and talking about, all these perks and all this stuff that Tennessee did. The misnomer out of the Ohio State front is that everything changed after the official visit to Tennessee. That's inaccurate because Tennessee was in better shape going into official visit season than anybody wanted to give them credit for. And it was the comfort level as the reason why, Ramon. I mean, he had been here 6 other times. He had been to Ohio State, I think, twice. He had 2 teammates up here that arrived last January that were going through everything that he got a chance to hang out with. He sat in the stands with those guys last year watching games. He had a real comfort level. I think Darrell Sims didn't try to be anything other than who Darrell Sims is. And that's not a knock on Carlos Loughlin in any way, shape, or form. Okay, Carlos Loughlin did a hell of a job recruiting DGG. He's the reason Ohio State was in it the way they were, in my opinion. But, I think that the Heupel relationship, the investment that Josh Heupel made in recruiting, David, and obviously the family, they had Alvin Kamara up on his official visit. He had a guy like Ovid St. Preux who could speak French.
Oh my God.
He's in Knoxville. He could help in conversations early on. Now, the conversations with DGG got a lot easier over the course of the last year, because he's slow in his conversation because he has to think about how he wants to say it in English. But the dialogue has become much easier to have with David than it was the start of David's junior year when he was really still adjusting and really dealing with the language barrier there. So, yeah, I think Tennessee did a good job with everything. I think their patience. I think letting him have some freedom when he came up on a visit to hang out with his guys. They didn't take him station to station on every, trip to see every building and to see everything. Just kind of the freedom. And as one person had told Austin that he had in the story today, the smiles that David had on his Tennessee visits were different than there were on other visits. That tells you it was a comfort level thing, not just a financial thing.
Understood. Will and I have already prematurely had conversations about 2027. Okay, just so you know, because we're in the radio industry.
And it's July.
But you do have to look at the last 2, 3, 4 years of Heupel's recruitment. And one tip to cap to what they've been able to close out and retain. Even in this 2026 class, a lot of returners on offense. But when you think about the projection of TK Keys next year, one of these 2 quarterbacks who chooses to win it, you'll have a junior year David Sanders Jr., if all things go right. And you also bring into the fold, you still could keep Deshaun Bishop on top of having DGG. Like, recruiting classes are set up for big moments through cycles, unless you're just spending so much in the transfer portal year after year. But you almost do, Hubs, in my opinion, or do you look at 2027 and say, goodness, this could really set this team up to make a real playoff run and be taken more serious with Tennessee Vols football moving forward?
Well, I think that you have, in this day and age, I think you're going to have greater windows of opportunity than maybe you previously had. And what I mean by that is you're going to have a year where things cycle up better. And you're going to have years where maybe you cycle down a little bit because you can't stockpile, three deep on the defensive line with NFL talent, because financially you can't really do that. I think everybody is looking at this class that DGG's in that will sign in December, but yet we still call them the 27 class. But anyway, the 27 class as a small class. So a lot of fans say, well, Tennessee's going to go big in the portal. Man, they're going to spend a ton of money in the portal. The reality is, for Tennessee, they're going to spend a lot of money in retention at the end of this year. If what you think you have on your roster can play and gives you a chance to win, you're going to spend more money on retention than you are anything. And fans are going to get upset in January at the portal. Well, Tennessee's doing nothing. They're cheap. No, they're not. They're going to have to spend real money for retention when you look at the names you were just talking about. Guys who are young players that may take off this year, a sophomore defensive lineman or two, if they take off the way you need them to, and you're going to look at it and go, well, I want those guys coming back instead of spending their money in the portal for somebody new. I want that guy. Well, you're going to have to spend money there. And so the retention of this football team in December is going to be the biggest factor in what Tennessee's 27 season and what 27's expectations are going to look like. It's how well does Tennessee retain in the month of December. That'll be the biggest challenge.
Interesting. Good perspective. Brent Hubbs of AllQuest with us this morning on Ramon and Will. Derek Owings made some headlines with his Instagram post this week talking about the number of players that are running 21 miles per hour. I think from 12 to 47 guys over the course of the summer who are moving that much more quickly. Behind the scenes, Brent, how positive are some of these discussions about the toughness, the health, and just the fitness level of this football team with a very big addition in Derek Owings that has been able to help them out in that regard?
Well, in the words of Gilly Walker, speed, speed, speed. Ramon, you have no idea that reference, but
never heard it.
Somebody will explain it to you at some point in time on the chat this morning, okay? But I think with Derek Owens, it's pretty clear that he has a plan, and his plan has been executed really well. I think there's a reason why Josh Heupel seemed more relaxed at SEC Media Day, seemed more comfortable, a little more, I don't want to say positive, but a little more open about his team. I think he likes the way his team has attacked everything since January. I think he likes what he's done on the defensive staff, but I think he looks over there and sees what Derek Owens is doing, and he looks at those numbers every day, and he looks at the transformation of some of these players, and he likes the hand that he's being dealt from a physical standpoint. Now, there's great debate on the general's quarters. Derek Owens is making $1.2 million. Is he worth 2 more wins? I don't think any of that's realistic for a strength coach. But I do think that this team is, quote, in better shape and faster and stronger than they've ever been. I think the question becomes, how well do they finish? And I think that's the step that Tennessee needs to take moving forward. They've got to finish drives better in the red zone. They've got to be able to get yards in short, critical yard situations and be physical. They've got to be able to get off the field on third down. They've got to be able to be better in the fourth quarter than they were a year ago. And they've got to be better the back half of the season than they were a year ago. And physicality, strength, all factors into that. And that's the message Derek Owens has been preaching this entire offseason. And it feels like these guys have bought into it. We'll see what the results of it looks like in 12 days when they start on the practice field, and we get a little bit of a sample size of just how much better everybody looks when it comes to football things, not just walking around in the T-shirts.
Hubs, on the recruiting side of things, man, for one big game, like August 20th, 2026 at 7 p.m. in Chattanooga, you got Baylor versus BA, and you got Kenneth Simon, Keyshawn Bowman, and DGG all in the same game. Is there going to be a hotter high school ticket than that matchup right there?
It'll be hot. It'll be a good one that people are going to be able to watch that one on TV too, and it'll be a fantastic matchup. And you're talking about 3 of the best players in the state of Tennessee, and Josh Heupel got 3 of the better players in Tennessee on his roster. 3 of the best players in state are on his roster, and I think that's long been the strength of Tennessee is you've got to win in state. And this staff doesn't take everybody in state because there's more good players in the state of Tennessee than there's ever been, and you can't just take everybody in state. But you have to get the ones you covet, and Tennessee has coveted those three. And look, at one point it looked like Bowman was going to Oregon, right? Yeah. At one point, Kenneth Simon was headed to Alabama. You know, a lot of people thought that a year ago Tennessee was playing catch up with DGG. Tennessee's just steady Eddie recruiting and all three of those pay great dividends for them. And that's three great gets, and to see all of them play at the same time against each other and with each other will be a lot of fun in August for sure.
No doubt.
I mean, we might make the trip, Brent. Like that's a Thursday night. Yeah. We can watch it on TV, but Ramon and I are sitting here like, all right, what time will we get back? What time we got to be up the next morning? I don't know.
Well, there's no chance Ramon would work the next day. Okay? I mean, Ramon would look at that Thursday night deal and go, wait a minute, I can take off Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I got a 3-day weekend before the fall starts.
That's right.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good with that one.
I even got a guard update for you too as well, man. Since we were exchanging pleasantries this morning about my speed and also my work relationships. Okay.
I don't think your name was Gilly Walker.
By the way,
freshman football coach Ramon Foster is going through it right now, dealing with the next generation of offensive linemen right now. Oh my gosh,
Hubs, you ought to see me.
So he's got his hands full.
I gained 15 new gray hairs yesterday at the freshman football practice. Just so you know.
I just need video evidence of you trying to teach the flying Bambino and you giving some personal, physical examples of how that Bambino works. All right, if you could do that one for me, I would appreciate it.
I gave an example 2 days ago about how I want them to step and punch. I almost caved the kid chest in. So I felt bad. I apologize. I said, "You okay?" With that being said, you be proud. We got bees at the house now. But we also got a hive, and I don't like that. So it's got to be removed safely, just so you know. They're pollinating the cucumbers in the back, the tomatoes, Hubs. You be proud of what I'm going to send you a video of the hive.
No, here's the thing. Okay, so you have bees.
We do.
Wait a minute. You brought a hive in so you would have bees.
No.
But you don't want bees.
No.
No, that's what you said.
I do.
Ramon, we'll go back and check the tape. That's what you said.
I did check the tape. You're right.
We bought bees, but I don't want bees.
No, we didn't buy them. They just showed up. They're in our propane tank underneath, like the underground propane tank. They're in there. And my guy found them yesterday, and I'm like, okay, do we have to remove them? But we need them at the same time, Hubs.
I'm grateful you're giving everyone a science lesson this morning on Ramon and
You're
Will.
my farm guy.
Unbelievable.
That's what we need to have.
We brought you in with a sexy tractor conversation or a song this morning, Hubs. Come on, man.
You need pollination.
I need pollination. That's what I need this morning.
The only interview in the country today that started with high school recruiting and ended with bees. Brent Hubbs of VolQuest joining us this morning for his weekly visit. Pleasure as always, Brent. Thank you so much.
It is a pleasure, Hubs.
This is like a bad episode of Seinfeld this morning. It was 22 minutes of nothing.
Never. Thank you, Brent. Have a good weekend.
Thanks, Hubs.
You guys, have a good
sir. Brent Hubbs with us. I said Federal Credit Union, your financial partner for every stage of life, brings him to you, the absolute best.
That's my dude, man.
We love our partnership with VolQuest. They have been all over this thing, and I think the biggest praise we can give them, Ramon, is that even if you are not a Tennessee fan, just a college sports fan, VolQuest is an outstanding resource and just the best of the best at covering college athletics. They do a great job.
They absolutely are. The question I have for you post that interview is, what are you willing to do for a recruit?
What am I?
You
personally?
Learn French?
No. I don't know. I mean, clearly, I don't think that made that big of a difference.
Which is a great life thing, though. Like, learning a new language is awesome. I'd much rather say, this bag ain't enough.
I'll make the run to Chick-fil-A to get the bag. That the NIL money can be transported at. No, I kid, obviously.
What are you willing to do for a recruit?
What I do enjoy, and Brent put it really well, is that this really was an old school recruitment in a lot of ways. And it lines up with something we've talked about on DGG for a long time. It feels like the old in-state recruitments where it just came down to relationships.
Mm-hmm.
The fact of the matter is the NIL package was a part of this, but it was not everything.
No, I mean, of course, you got to pay what you weigh for these type of guys. Any 5-star.
And you don't want the NIL deal to be everything.
No.
You don't want a transactional relationship with a player and his team, because all of a sudden what happens when that transaction and the price of that transaction has to go up a little bit?
You find yourself in Texas A&M situation.
You find yourself in Nico Imaliava. You find yourself I don't know, Boo Carter was totally money, but you find yourself in negotiations at the 11th hour that you don't want to be in.
Or Ricky Gibson,
right.
respectfully.
Right.
Like who leave,
right.
It's... Yeah, and the relationships still matter. The money's just a part of the conversation after you establish a relationship.
When I hear the reporting that DGG is so much more at ease at Tennessee and has better relationships at Tennessee than anywhere else, to me, that gives me comfort that this is not a 1 year and then we're back in the portal. You never know. And don't old takes expose me if that obviously changes. And obviously, Ohio State's going to probably keep trying to recruit him, right? Like David Sanders maybe wasn't totally in on Ohio State at the end of his recruitment, but he still made a visit, and that one got a little bit more real at the end. So in recruiting, obviously, you never know. That being said, this feels like a recruitment that is done and dusted and isn't going to be one we've got to revisit when he's at Tennessee.
It was so big.
Right. It feels like Tennessee knocked this out of the park from a relationship standpoint. And clearly, from what Austin has told us and from what Brent has told us, it's always been Tennessee for David Gabriel George.
From his perspective, David Gabriel George, like from his perspective, as big as this recruitment was and emotional as he said it was and how personal it got to people around this recruiting, he's probably just glad to have it done.
I think that's absolutely the case. From everything we've heard and read, I think that's absolutely the case. 615-737-1045, open for your phone calls until Slay hops in at 9:20. Coming up, we'll talk a little Nashville SC taking a club record winning streak on the road to maybe its biggest rival this weekend. We'll talk about that coming up next. What's going on? It's Will Bowling for my friends at Fleet Feet Nashville. As a former college distance runner, I have been a Fleet Feet customer since I was in middle school, because Fleet Feet doesn't just get you the best running shoes available. They put you in the right running shoes for you. And you don't have to be competitively running like I was back in high school and college. You can just be wanting something for work because you're on your feet all the time. Maybe you're looking to just go on more walks around the neighborhood, or maybe you're training for that 5K or marathon. Fleet Feet's technology will blow you away. The foot scan that they're going to do with you, they're going to walk you through literally different options, put you in different shoes with different inserts, and get you on your way feeling and looking the best you possibly can. Make sure coming up as well next weekend, tax-free weekend at Fleet Feet Nashville. A great time to get ready for back to school. Head online to fleetfeetnashville.com. Find a store near you. Get fit and get back on the roads feeling your best. That's Fleet Feet Nashville online at fleetfeetnashville.com. Ramon Will on 104.5 The Zone continues with Ramon Foster. I'm Will Bowling. Justin Hawkins making the show happen. And this weekend, the boys in gold head on the road, Ramon Foster, to take on the team that I think you could make a case has been their biggest rival since 2020 when they entered MLS.
That's Orlando?
Orlando City. Now, that being said, right now their biggest rival may be Miami. They often see Miami. They've had some intense games with Messi in Miami. Miami is the team that Nashville SC in its history has played the most. It was very one-sided towards Nashville SC early on in that history.
Yeah.
So if you were picking over the course of 6.5 years what the biggest rivalry is, it's been Orlando. There are some rivalries that are geographic between fan bases like Atlanta and Cincinnati. There are other rivalries that teams just get together and realize, we really don't like each other. This is the latter. This is one of those where these two teams, and granted, with respect to Orlando, because it is a good organization and a good club that's won a lot of games since they entered the league a little before Nashville, they have these kinds of rivalries with lots of teams in the style and the way that they have played since their inception. But this is a very fun matchup, and it is going to be a very big deal tomorrow because former World Cup winner for France, Antoine Griezmann, is expected to make his home debut as a striker for Orlando City. Antoine Griezmann was a part of the French squad, and mind you, a very big part of the French squad that won the World Cup in 2018. He was a starter on that team. He was a starter this year for Atletico Madrid, one of the biggest clubs in Spain, who made it to the Champions League semifinal. They got knocked out by Arsenal while they were there. In the Champions League semifinal, a very big part of that team still now. Ramon, on Wednesday, in Orlando's win over San Jose, he scored his 300th goal of his career, both international and club. Nashville brings a 5-game MLS winning streak and the top spot in the standings to Orlando. If Nashville SC, Ramon, wins their next 2 games in MLS, that's tomorrow against Orlando and next Saturday against DC United, it will be the best start through that many matches in the history of Major League Soccer.
In the history of Major League Soccer.
Ever.
They can get this done.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
So Orlando City has conceded 44 goals this season. That is the most in MLS. Statistically, they have the worst defense in Major League Soccer. However, 31 of those have come away from home. They have only allowed 13 goals at home this year.
Okay.
Which is actually impressive how many goals they have given up on the road, to give up 31
Almost
goals
makes no sense.
already this season. We talked a little bit yesterday about the home field advantage in this league is significant.
It is. Okay.
Regardless of who the team is. Antoine Griezmann expected to make his debut. He scored his 300th goal, like we just said on Wednesday. Question for me, for Nashville's perspective, is how many minutes are left in the tank this week for starting players like Sam Surridge and Hani Mukhtar? You just had a 2-month break, 54-day break from the May 23rd game against NYC to July the 17th against Atlanta, and then you had to play 3 matches in 8 days. Atlanta last Friday, you played Montreal on Wednesday, now you're hopping on a plane and heading down to Orlando. Hani Mukhtar and Sam Surridge have played 180 minutes already this week. Jeez. How much more is left in the tank Saturday? Does BJ Callahan say, I'd rather get them a little bit of rest, I want to get them in for the second half? Or they're coming in, let's plan a substitution in the 60th minute? Or do you feel good enough about the break you just had to say Sam and Hani can go 90 minutes again, or at least start the game and go 60 to 75?
Right.
And let's see how much we can get out of them, knowing that we've got a little bit of a longer break to next Saturday's game against DC United. We'll see. But this is a big challenge, and you're playing an Orlando team that just beat San Jose 4-0 on Wednesday night on the road. That's a San Jose team that's second best in the West. That was a surprise for Orlando, who was not expected to win that game at all, and they shut out one of the best attacking teams in Major League Soccer.
So I guess that's a fascinating storyline right there, is how some of these teams adjust after this big break right here.
Right, because Orlando was the worst defensive team in the league before the break, and they just shut out a really good attacking team on Wednesday, despite the fact that in all of their previous road matches, they'd allowed 31 goals this year.
That's almost like going into a preseason matchup right now. Like, teams have had an opportunity to regroup, and now they're like, Orlando's seems to be a different team, at least in one game.
Very different.
Unless it was San Jose that didn't step up and had a little bit of a lag.
And they had been playing in a back three before the break. They switched to a back four on Wednesday, which is apparently their preferred formation as they get a little bit healthier with a lot of their defenders. Maxime Crepeau is their goalkeeper. He started for Canada in the World Cup. He made 7 saves on Wednesday against San Jose. That was a big reason why they were able to keep them scoreless. Is he had an incredible performance and an incredible game that he really hadn't had all season, because that was Orlando's first shutout of the year. For perspective, Nashville SC has shut out 8 teams this year. Orlando just had their first shutout of the year on Wednesday. So maybe a team that's starting to round into form and figure things out, and maybe a team that is not ideal to see right now, considering the amount of people who will be there to see Antoine Griezmann make his home debut. But should be a really fun one. 6 o'clock pregame, 6:30 kick tomorrow night here on The Zone. A really fun rivalry. 2 teams that do not like each other, and it is good for the sport and good for the game to have a rivalry like this one, for sure.
Right there. Let's go, boys and gold, man.
It's going to be fun.
It should be. You roll it down, too.
I am.
Boy, it's everywhere,
Making
man.
the trip.
Yeah, your summer's over.
Tomorrow night, too, before the boys in gold take the field, you're right, my summer is over. Liverpool, Sunderland, 2 English Premier League teams at Geodis Park.
I was going to say, do you eat that with crackers or what?
Huh?
I was going to say, do you eat that with crackers or
Eat what with crackers?
Liverpool. I was liverwurst is a meat. I know you.
Yeah, no, I was tracking. It just took me a minute.
Do you eat that with crackers?
Took me a minute.
With crackers or bread?
2 good Premier League teams.
Okay.
They're
not Arsenal, so I'm going to make fun of them.
Exactly.
Oh, no.
Exactly.
You've got them on
I
the train.
proclaim my
Ramon's been a fan for a couple years now. Yeah.
I have. Oh, catch up, man.
No,
I haven't been here for.
I have converted many a non-soccer fan to the way of Arsenal football.
Hey, check this out. Me and 21 Savage.
That's right. Lewis Hamilton, 21 Savage, I believe. Who else is an Arsenal fan?
We don't do
Idris Elba.
Absolutely.
James Bond. James freaking Bond. We got James Bond. Who do you have?
Preach, Will. Not him.
Unfortunately, Osama bin Laden was an Arsenal fan.
Hey,
unfortunately,
on,
but that's okay.
R.I.P. IP.
That's okay. Maybe not in peace. 615-737-1045
I know about
it. We switch back to Titans football when we return. J.C. Latham will start Titans training camp on the PUP list. When would his absence become a concern, if it isn't already, from Titans training camp? We'll talk about that next.
8:02. Good morning, live from the Circus Sports at the Mint Kentucky Downs studio. I'm Justin Hawkins. Some Titans injury news yesterday before training camp gets started. Right tackle J.C. Latham and safety Imani Hooker both were put on the team's PUP list with reportedly minor lingering injuries coming from the spring, and they're both not supposed to be long-term. Also, the Titans yesterday signed tackle Zachary Thomas and waived tackle Ryan Hayes. Other NFL news yesterday, Panthers second-year outside linebacker Nick Scorton, who went down in day one of practice yesterday, suffered a torn ACL. Per Cameron Wolf, Scorton is seeking a second opinion, but if the ACL is confirmed, he will have surgery in the coming weeks, and his season would be over before it can get started. Also, former Vanderbilt Commodores quarterback Diego Pavia was released yesterday from the Baltimore Ravens. The move was made to make room on the 90-man roster for newly signed center Ethan Posick. And coming up tomorrow night, Nashville SC takes their MLS-leading 39 points and 5-game winning streak on the road as they take on Orlando City SC in Orlando with kickoff set for 6:30 p.m. Central Time. You can, of course, hear the match right here on 104.5 The Zone. Pre-game coverage get you started at 6 o'clock. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you got to go to USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans involves. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Ramon Will on 104.5 The Zone into the second half of your Friday morning. Hope it's been a great one so far. 615-737-1045 is our number. Grateful you decided to wake up here with us as we're going to do a deep dive into the new Titans defense coming up in 15 minutes. Something we've done from time to time during the offseason, but maybe you need a refresher. Maybe you just want to talk a little ball. Want to hear a little X's and O's as we get closer to training camp practices, whistles and bullhorns being heard in the backgrounds of our show, of the Buck Rising show. Well, we're going to talk a little ball with you coming up here in 15 minutes. Looking forward to it. Because Ramon, this week, has just been watching film. Been watching the 49ers defense. We'll get to a break. He's like, watch this real quick right here. I want to show you. Look at what the linebackers, I'm like, why don't we just let the audience benefit from this and just talk about this on Friday?
Listen,
and you said absolutely we should. So that's exactly what we're going to do.
we are, because looking at tape to me is fun. Just looking at the scheme of it. And again, I'm not fully a defensive guy. I just watched it to where the soft spots are as far as my film study. And I think it's unique to watch where quarterbacks attempt to find zones, where there's weak spots as far as the run game, personnel that you got to have on the film. Have on your team to execute this defense. And looking at last year's 49ers tape, I was just super intrigued by what we've heard this defense was going to be like and watching exactly what it is at moments too. So it's a fun watch. If you got NFL, what is this, the NFL app?
NFL Plus?
NFL Plus, and you can go back and watch the replays. Like, I'm not telling you go be a armchair coach or nothing like that, but it'll give you understanding why there's breakdowns, why there's why they also went after certain guys in free agents here in Tennessee. Like, it gives you a better understanding watching this defense. And all I can tell you is this: if you're not conditioned for this defense, you will not make this team.
Yeah, good luck.
Good luck.
Good luck.
Two things I recognized on this team, and I'll say it now, I'll say it later when we get to the conversation, but better be well-conditioned, and little guys better love hitting.
Okay. We'll talk about that coming up here in 15 minutes. On Twitter, at Ramon and Will, you can vote in our poll this morning. How concerned are you about J.C. Latham starting camp on the PUP list? Very concerned, a little concerned, or not concerned at all. Just put this up about 2 minutes ago. So far, as expected, a little concerned, leading the voting. That's where I would put myself, Ramon, speaking personally, and I think that's probably where you are as well.
Yeah.
A little concerned. A yellow flag, not a red flag, but a little bit of pause about J.C. Latham with something lingering on an injury that, according to reports yesterday, is not expected to sideline him for an extended period of time.
Man, I hope that reporting is accurate, just for perception, just for public perception and conversation. It needs, not that he has to care, but when you go to training camp and there's media availability almost every single day where you can be grabbed by somebody in the media pool, like, hey, Tell me about this, or just asking you questions, or the coach's questions, or your
Something to have to
teammates.
answer for.
It's
yeah.
just always something to ask for. Even the first day that you get back, like, even if he is and should be 100% healthy. So how's the X that's hurt on you? Man, it's good. It's good. It's 100%. And the next day, let's say he just has a bad day. And it's like, well, is it because of the
was it
injury?
that? Right, exactly. Or how much time has he missed? Is he not conditioned? You know?
You know, like, so
It opens up a world of possibilities.
for a very, and I mean very important position for this team this year that's got questions that need to be answered. And I mean early, because that Jets defense will not be nice as far as how you start off the season. Like, one thing you would say about Aaron Glenn is they will push it.
It's another attacking style of defense, similar to the one that you're running here with Robert Saleh.
And that's the point of it all.
What I want to know from you, Ramon, is when you have had little things to deal with or injuries, because obviously every player by the end of every season has something they are managing and nursing. How difficult is it to stay in football shape when you aren't doing full practice this time of year? Does it make that big of a difference that J.C. Latham will not be going through the full practice protocol that his teammates who aren't on the PUP list will be going through?
It makes a difference. So I had times I missed camp. Was for a back issue one time. It was on like 2-3 days, so it wasn't that long to where you can lose conditioning and stuff. But I had a hyperextended knee in 2018, and it caused me to not be able to practice, and I just wasn't available to the team. You never really catch up. There's just no real substitute for that May to July time period in which you can get into the best shape by running and fully getting conditioned. I ended up starting the season off still, but I just felt like my conditioning wasn't for an extended amount of time. It was just being football available, where I can just execute my blocks and get the job done. Now, again, my position that I played in that was guard. It's a little less dynamic than playing tackle, to where you got to see these speed demons off the edge. There's no security whatsoever from time to time on plays. So that's where you hope that if it's, let's say it's a hamstring, the hamstring doesn't linger longer, because at some point you're going to have to execute using it and firing it, and it needs to respond to you. And that's where, like I say, you never really catch up to that conditioning, because you've missed the real running if this is, let's say, a lower body injury. And we don't know which part of his body it is. It's just that he's going to miss some time. I mean, the treadmill can't prepare you for pads, the ground, and contact.
And again, notice how we're not really spending much time talking about Amani Hooker's injury, because he has such a bigger body of work as a vet in this league at performing at a high level. Mm-hmm. And Amani Hooker is a player who has battled injuries and has had some rotten luck through the years, but the story is not player on PUP list as camp begins. The story is J.C. Latham is on the PUP list as training camp begins.
Yeah.
This is a story due in part because of how high a bar J.C. Latham has to clear this year in order to take a step forward, protect your most valuable asset in Cam Ward, and live up to the place where he was drafted. No one's crushing him. No one's blaming him. At the end of the day, would I rather him be on the PUP list and get healthy and be 100% in practice versus carry something that's lingering yet still be out there anyway? 100%.
Yeah.
I'd rather him be on the PUP list and get this thing handled. That way, when he does practice, we're not worrying about anything.
I agree.
It may end up being that he's out there for the first padded practice and only misses the first couple days in T-shirts and shorts. That would be a great thing. Mm-hmm. We don't know that, but maybe that's the world that we live in. All this being said, it's just a little bit of a concern when you consider the stakes in J.C. Latham's 2026 season. I think that's all we're saying at this point.
And the other part, too, I guess, is what compounds the concern is, he's more than capable.
Yes. His ceiling is as high as anyone on this offense, Ramon. He could be a monster.
He could be.
If he hits, if he really takes a step forward this year.
Mm-hmm. It's the same way we looked at Darnell Wright, the starting right tackle for the Chicago Bears.
Right.
Darnell had these same questions. Darnell Wright had these same questions for the Bears. Mm-hmm. And Darnell answered them in year 3. Darnell also chose or was given an offense, same thing that he's going through, given an offense that highlighted his strengths. JC's strength is running.
If we're being hard on him as a player, too, it's because he can be so good. That's the point, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, if this wasn't a big-time prospect or a guy with a high major ceiling, we probably wouldn't even be talking this much about it.
Absolutely.
It's the fact that he could be so good.
And here's the other part, though, too. unfair part of the league, which we said does not matter. Nobody gives a darn, to use a Deion Sanders word, nobody gives a darn how you're judged. We just want the results, because here's the other side of it. This fan base was coveting and wanting Joe Alt. You're watching a guy in real time and Darnell Wright in Chicago take that next step.
It made things more difficult on J.C. Latham as well.
You watch Peter Skoronski grow.
Being kind of the second option to Joe Alt.
It did.
Yeah.
But yet and still, you're still a top 10 selection, and the expectation remains very high. Mm-hmm. And that's the part of the man, go cry me a river side that I feel like people will give him if he doesn't live up to it or he's not healthy. And again, you don't get taken that high if you don't serve what the team is looking for as far as their expectations of it.
I think it's a moderate concern.
Moderate.
I think it's about a 5 out of 10.
You said it correctly. Take all the time you need before it gets real.
Yep. I mean, if you're on the PUP list, let's take full advantage of it. You can come back at any time. This does not mean that he misses any time.
No.
And according to the reporting that's out there, it is a minor injury that is not expected to sideline him very long at all. Okay. So the problem, and I think the biggest part of this that is a little bit of a concern to me, is how far behind the 8 ball do you get? What is the curve of rounding into football shape, rounding into full contact? Does that first week of practice look better or worse because you were on the PUP list? Right. Are you just always battling to get back and you're behind a lot of your teammates who are in better shape than you?
Right.
Maybe not. Maybe he comes back and, hey, he looks like $1 million. He looks great. I would love for that to be the case. Time will tell.
But that's the thing. We going to have to see it, though.
We're going to have to see it.
At that position.
That's exactly right.
There are no plays off.
No.
And the other part that it exposes,
right
and you brought this up too, is this also bleeds into a secondary conversation of the swing tackle side of this, because it's 100% injury rate in this league.
And that's the part of it that JC can't control, but yet is a part of all of this, is that the Titans just aren't very deep at tackle behind him either.
But now with JC being on the PUP list forever, how long? Those guys who are in that competition, Brandon Crenshaw Dixon, Austin Deculus, just looking at the group of guys that are around, like this is their opportunity as well to kind of step up and prove that they are worthy of making this 53, because this is new staff. Nobody has a real relationship with the coaches from last year.
Right.
So there's opportunity there for everybody.
And that can be a good thing and a bad thing. Yeah. It's a totally clean slate, yet also this is not the coaching staff nor the front office who drafted you. So you're on the clock of proving yourself. Everyone is, not just J.C. Latham. You're on the clock of proving yourself to new people who most likely, unless you're a rookie or a second-year player, you were drafted or signed with maybe a little bit of a different vision in mind from a different regime.
And just to put names, too, on those rotational tackles right now is undrafted rookie Emil Wagner out of Notre Dame, newly signed offensive tackle Zachary Thomas, who's been in the league for about 4 years, Rasheed Miller, undrafted rookie out of Louisville as well, and Austin Deculus, that we've talked about all offseason, and Brandon Crenshaw Dixon.
Austin Deculus, who was a swing tackle for the Chargers last year, and PFF was not a very big fan of.
Yeah.
I'm going to make a prediction.
What you got?
I could very well be wrong, but my hunch is that this team's swing tackle, when they take on the New York Jets and the Philadelphia Eagles, is on another roster right now. I think this team's swing tackle is a waiver claim at the end of camp.
Really? Be fascinating because Borgonza is part of the staff to help bring in and sign Brandon Crenshaw Dixon to a nice free agent deal. I'm interested to see what his future is. I don't know why I'm stuck on his idea. His body type to me says
you like him a lot.
I do. His body type, he changed it this offseason, looks a whole lot better. And when you look at just where did he come from? San Diego State to Florida.
Yep. Didn't give up a sack that 1 year in Florida.
And you got to say to yourself, something's there. Like, so.
They were, we've talked to Justin Mello about it. Clearly from their actions, they were confident in someone else claiming him if he didn't make the initial 53-man roster last season.
No doubt.
There's a vision there.
there's a vision there, and I just don't know how soon or how long they're going to wait on him to show
And maybe
them.
he is the swing tackle.
But I don't know.
That's asking a lot of a second-year undrafted player to be ready to come in at tackle in a pinch.
But he's not your starter.
I know, but still. That's still asking a lot at swing tackle, considering the injury rate of offensive linemen.
Yeah, I know, but
Like, nobody plays their starting five for 100% of the snaps.
my thing is this goes into development and him stacking days of trust. I don't think it's far-fetched for a guy like him to be your rotational guy as an undrafted.
I don't think it's far-fetched either. I would prefer for him to be the fourth tackle on this team, not the third one.
I'm going to be real with you. I prefer him the third on this one because of the youthfulness and the fact that he's still moldable. Yeah, you're going to have some growing pain, but it ain't his expectation to be the starter right now. And I'm also looking at the cap side of this thing. He's a cheaper option.
You're one injury away from him being a starter.
It's very true.
So if your rationale is he doesn't have to be a starter, my response to that would be, well, but again, with J.C. Latham out, he might be a starter right now.
It's very true, but
He may be.
here's
don't
also
know
the
that.
other side. Your starters also, and I know that's not what you're saying, but your starters also don't have to be high draft picks or your draft picks. They're undrafted guys that take that step the same way as
100%.
a developmental guy should.
100%. And I'm not doubting that he can take that step. I just want a little bit more reassurance about my quarterback's health and how important it is for him to be on the field and get better, that I want to take extra care of that position and develop Brandon Crenshaw-Dixon while having a better safety plan in place.
This falls on Carmen Brasillo, the offensive line coach.
100%. But he can't work miracles and totally mold a player with just one training camp with him. He's not had him for very long.
I'm going to be real. I think you can.
Okay. You would know better than me, so I'll defer to your judgment, especially on offensive line.
I think he possesses the ability to take a big step. Maybe.
I mean, this is
The
a player that
perfect
you
world.
consistently come up to me at practice and love. This is not a new take from you.
If I could be real with you, a perfect world is for him to have the talent that they thought they did and how they signed him last year. Have all last year be a growth year. This year be a big step year. That where if you did have to make a decision,
You could feel okay with putting him in as a starter,
let's just go hypothetical.
at least in a competition next year.
Can you play my game with me just for a second?
I'm trying to.
You're trying to.
I'm
I
having
know-
a hard time, but I'm trying to.
But here's the reason why. I come from this is the pathway that I came into the league with.
It is. That's true.
So
You've lived this.
if you are in a position to say, okay, JC might be more of a guard in 2027, bump him down, move Crenshaw over.
In a funny way, you've lived both sides of that. You lived the life of moving from tackle to guard, and you've lived the undrafted life of someone who just kept developing, and then one day got his chance, and you took advantage of it.
And that's all I'm saying when you look at a guy like Brandon Crenshaw-Dixon. The mold is there.
If
It's
right now we had a more clear answer at right guard, I would be willing to go there.
it could be in 27.
It's the fact that the entire right side, but I'm not thinking about
Okay, you
27. I'm thinking more
26.
about 26.
Okay, got you.
For right now, I have so many questions about the right side of the offensive line that I would prefer to invest a little bit more in a third tackle before I'm putting a second-year undrafted player as my third tackle into that spot. Just because of the questions I also have at right guard.
But
If you had last year's Kevin Zeitler in there, again, we're talking beginning of last year's Kevin Zeitler, maybe I'd be willing to go there. But I think that there is a swing tackle on someone else's roster who ends up here out of camp. That's my hunch.
I feel you. You might end up being right, but I also look at this situation with Crenshaw-Dixon and I say there's a glaring opportunity for him.
There's
take
no
the
doubt there's
step.
opportunity.
Now, Carmen Brasillo, if
no
you
doubt.
can get him right and he fights, like that's where he separates that talent gap that we judging him by to what he's capable of, because this position is a position of will too.
Well, you're going to have 3 joint practices with 3 teams and 3 preseason games to state your case that you should be the swing tackle.
You go out there and embarrass me. I'm not owning this conversation, just so you know.
We absolutely will.
I am on the
other side.
Crenshaw-Dixon train, just so you know.
Coming up, watching the film on the new Titans defensive scheme under Robert Saleh. We'll talk about that next.
When you start noticing cracks in the walls, uneven floors, or driveway sinking and separating y'all, it's more than a home issue. It's a peace of mind issue. That's why who you choose for foundation repair and concrete leveling, it really matters. I trust United Structural Systems because they've been doing this the right way since 1994. Right here in Tennessee. And USS, they don't believe in those quick fixes or scare tactics. They take the time to inspect, explain what's happening, and walk you through real proven solutions that are built to last. Whether your home needs foundation stabilization or crawl space repair or concrete leveling for sinking walls, sinking sidewalks, patios, or driveways, USS uses engineered systems designed for long-term performance, not temporary patches. And right now, they're offering several different options for you for the rest of the month of July. You can choose from 10% discount when you pay in full, or fix it now, pay later with 18 months, no interest, no payments, or you can choose up to 36 months, no interest with low payments for low payment options for qualified buyers. Again, they're dependable, they're trustworthy, they are USS. So reach out to them or learn more at USSTN.com.
Hour 3 on Ramon and Will. Ramon Foster, Will Bolding at Ramon and Will on Twitter. How concerned are you about J.C. Latham starting camp on the PUP list? 62% of you say a little concerned. 21% not concerned at all, and 17% of you are very concerned. I'm actually pleasantly surprised that more of you are not concerned than are very concerned. Pleasantly surprised.
Pleasantly surprised.
Ramon, as we look at the film on the Titans defense, something that you have been doing over the last couple of days on the scheme, on the changes, on the adjustments, I want to start just as simply as we can put it. What makes, from the offense's perspective, this scheme so challenging to move the ball against?
That is a great way to start that off, because that's the way I am kind of evaluating it. What makes it is pressure. So much pressure. Like, from the defensive line perspective, like having an offensive line intact to where they can block the slants and stunts in the games that they're running. They're running TTEs, tackles, ends, where two tackles a slant and the D ends are wrap around them.
Okay.
You got to have an offensive line that can get that up. You got cross dogs where it might be blitzes and there's two linebackers blitzing up the middle and there's an X. This right side linebacker goes left. Left side linebacker goes right. It's those types of things you're dealing with. There is slants with fire dogs that are coming off the edge as well. Like, you got corners that's blitzing off the edge. Can the quarterback see those things? Like, it becomes complicated in how what you see versus what you're supposed to be doing. If you don't have an athletic enough offensive line or a well-taught offensive line to pick up these schemes, then you're going to find yourself as a turnstile. And then you throw that on the fact that when you look at, let's go last year's team, because we hadn't seen really this version of the Tennessee Titans defense. But each one of these guys are very athletic. They're long, or at least they're quick as hell off the line of scrimmage with power behind it. That was one of the first things I noticed when it came down to playing Robert Saleh's defense when we played him in 2019 in San Francisco. It was, okay, got DeForest Buckner. Okay, got Eric Armstead out here. Whew, all right, cool. They go out of the game, you think you got breathing room. No, you do not. There's a replacement behind them that's just as long as they are, just as quick as they are, and just as powerful as they are. And if you look at the Titans free agency this year with the dudes that they've picked up, you see speed, you see power, you see length.
You see depth in the front seven to a level that we've not seen here in a long time.
No.
And even when Mike Vrabel's defenses here were good, they were asking Harold Landry, at times Jarrell Casey.
Yeah.
They're asking their front four players to play a ton of snaps.
No doubt. And, like, when you see, if you go and look at the 49ers defense or Robert Saleh defense, like, the biggest you'll get is Quentin Williams. You know, like, you're not getting big body
There's
guys.
not a 340-pound nose tackle, 320-pound nose tackle even, that typically plays in this defense.
Which is why a lot of people have a lot of hope and just looking at the potential of T'Vondre Sweat, but
Sure.
he can't work in this defense. That wasn't a personal thing. That was a business move that was probably better for T'Vondre Sweat and the Tennessee Titans.
Sure.
So is that side of it right there, the athleticism that he's looking for on this team. Long, quick, good feet, good power type of defense. Like, that's what makes it hard too, because it's one thing to be able to block a guy because you got the size, but when that guy's also got size and he's got length. Like, I told one time, I'm looking at DeForest Buckner, and, like, I'm 6'6", long arms. My arms has never been short, okay? And he's reaching over me to try to grab the quarterback. I'm like, bro, what the hell are you doing? Stop. You're not supposed to be doing this. You know what I'm saying? Like,
It's funny. Funny way to put it. Stop touching my quarterback.
Stop.
What are you doing?
What are you doing,
Go away.
man? But that's what you look at when you look at a guy like Jeff that can get you on the edge.
Sure.
With a rush, or you look at John Franklin Myers, right, and you say to yourself, okay, I get that signing. And you look at all the many other edge rushers that they have, like
Jacob Martin,
like,
Yeah.
he's not the tallest, but he's got long digits. You look at, of course, Solomon Thomas, speed, power, range, quick shiftiness to his game.
And Jermaine Johnson, kind of a jack of all
Yes.
trades, who is athletic. He's not the fastest. He's also not the small. Like, he's kind of a do-it-all edge setter.
Keldrick Falk draft pick.
Sure.
You get
Right.
it now.
And he's a little bit bigger version of that.
You see what I'm saying? Like, that's why you go get a Keldrick Falk. Like, he might not be as ready this year.
Sure.
But with the right amount of puppy chow and gunpowder, he going to get them there.
So here's what I want to know about this defense.
Yeah.
How do offenses try to attack it?
Ooh. It's a matter of if a team can hold up. It starts with the run game. Here's what I would tell you. Teams will try to pound them just because, again, this style of defense, the way I've always played with it, they stop the run on the way to the quarterback. The way you try to expose this defense is if you are running the ball, one, expect them to move. And if they move, your combination blocks better be good. My guard tackle better be able to be hip to hip to get to the linebacker. Because if this defense has the ability to hit a gap and split you, it spooks the quarterback, spooks the running back that are trying to get the ball. So it's that part first. You got to be good up front against them. And there's a lot of bad offensive line play in this league where defenses like this will expose them.
So is it fair to say that if you are a defensive lineman in this system, maybe in the past, you were asked to hold up linemen and hold up a gap and hold your spot and anchor, whereas now you are being asked to get upfield and get vertical more than you were maybe waiting for a ball carrier to get to you.
Yeah.
Now you were getting upfield and you were trying to meet that guy in the backfield.
You can also go make a play as a defensive lineman in this defense.
On every down.
On every down.
Right. Not
it's
just
suited for you.
Pass rush
now,
situations.
Here's where the issue goes into play. This, like Titans fans, condition yourself. There might be gaps in this defense simply because of that. When you run into a good offensive line or just a good play, it ain't even got to be a good offensive line. When they finally execute a play, and let's say a player that's in a C gap stunts to the B gap, if this is a play designed where that guard can pick up the guy in the B gap, your tackle can go up to the second.
A wham block?
It's a wham, there will be a lane for the running back to run through.
Or a trap where you're going to pull your guard. If you're trying to run, and again, A gap, B gap, for those who don't know, A gap between center and guard, B gap,
guard tackle,
C gap, outside the tackle,
and D gap, tight end and outside.
If you are trying to run up the A gap, you may have the left guard come back and pull to his right to, from the side, hit someone like Jeffrey Simmons who's trying to get upfield, and you use the defense's aggressiveness against them.
Or even without a pull. Yes, using that aggressiveness against them. If Jeff's in the B gap and he slants to the A gap, just washing Jeff down. If he doesn't hold his point.
Right.
Will open up a gap.
Opens up a gap to where
exactly
you may still have to get by Jeff, but if you do, there's more space now for a running back to run into.
Because he's out of his gap because of the way they stunt and move.
It's funny, and Jeff actually put this on his Instagram story, I think a week or two ago. There were times last year where teams would try to implement that just for Jeff.
Yes.
And they actually ended up, it seemed to me, making it more difficult on themselves because you're not as anchored to the ground because you are moving your feet to try to get momentum to block Jeff, that Jeff would just carry more momentum and knock you over
and cut you.
Because you aren't anchored into literally the earth to have a stable base and try to block through someone that's not blockable when he makes up his mind sometimes.
Now, here's the thing, though, too. Not every player is going to net a sack for this team or tackle for loss of big-time play, but with what I've seen it do is it puts you so much on the clock as a quarterback and getting the ball handed off that it creates pressure. I was watching the Rams and 49ers game, and Matthew Stafford had a wide open just 7 route, just an angle route.
What's a 7 route for people who don't know?
About 10 yards, and you slant out towards the sideline.
Okay.
7. I go by the number system.
Sure.
Still. Some call it a flag, I
Sail
guess.
route, too?
A flag.
Yeah.
Is what it would be.
Okay.
So Matthew Stafford had it wide open, but there was the zone good enough in front of the wide receiver. I think it was Puka Nacua, and there was a safety behind. Matthew Stafford should have made that, but the defensive line applying pressure to him moved his feet and caused him to overthrow that ball instead of completing a layup for him.
Which, again, lends itself to the investment you've made in Cordell Flott and Alontae Taylor. You're only as good as your worst corner. But that being said, there's reason for optimism on those two corners not being flash in the pan and contract to your guys, but sustaining the seasons they had for their respective teams in the NFC last year. Because now there's a better front in front of them and a system that, for their perspective, is going to ask them to play maybe a bit more conservatively. Is that fair?
Very fair, and that's where I was headed.
So while the front is being more aggressive, the back end of the defense can be a bit more conservative because the front is so aggressive, right?
But you better be good in your zone and in your eyes.
Okay.
Because, again, if they play safety backs, cover 3 or cover 2, and you got your linebackers that are dropping back in coverage into their zones. I showed you a play, was it Tuesday, where you had Fred Warner get his eyes stuck in the backfield.
He's got to cover a lot of grass.
And there was a tight end that caught a ball down the middle because Fred then dropped far enough into his zone.
Got it.
That's where keeping everything in front of you causes you to watch sometime and lose where you're supposed to be setting up as far as your zones.
You're reactive.
You're reactive.
Sure.
Instead of getting and dropping into your zone, like you'll have gaps for quarterbacks that have protection and allow that route to get open. Now, again, they play, I don't want to call it bend but don't break, but it is a pressure up front.
Last year in San Francisco, it was bend but don't break.
Yeah.
But they also didn't have Nick Bosa healthy.
Exactly.
And they didn't have as good of a front four, I think, as what the Titans have on paper from a pass rush perspective.
I will also say, too, and watching the first couple of games that Nick Bosa played, especially against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I get why people reveal him as that.
Yeah.
Like
he's a dude.
Almost on every single
Still
play.
is.
He's getting busy.
Despite injuries, he is still playing at a very high level when he's healthy.
He's affecting the game,
Right.
which is what this defense requires, which is why you're also hoping that Keldrick Falk turns into at least a menace off the edge. Like, he's not getting sacks all the time, Bosa, but he's affecting the play to where he's forcing the quarterback to go left or go right. The corners in this defense, too, just real quick, the secondary in this defense, I don't think you're going to see a whole lot of man. You're going to see a whole lot of zone. You're going to see a whole lot of disguising. You'll also see, in my opinion, the way I've seen, what's his name, Upton Stout be used in the San Francisco defense last year. You can have guys that play outside like a Lante Taylor that will still blitz and get after the quarterback.
Yeah, I think
from the edge is going to be real.
It's probably an oversimplification to say that Alante Taylor is just an outside corner now.
He's a weapon.
I think he is a weapon you move around. And Alante Taylor is a big play corner. Mm-hmm. What I mean by big play corner is sometimes the plays are for you, but because sometimes the plays are for you, sometimes the big plays are also against you. And I love Alante Taylor. I'm glad he's a Tennessee Titan. And if you were listening to this show after the Titans played the Saints this past year, I have been in on wanting that player on this team literally since the Monday after the Saints beat the Titans.
Yeah.
And thought that it was a good fit from a cultural and leadership, but also just a play standpoint, because you need to make more big plays and force more turnovers. But because you live with the good stuff, you will have to live with some bad and some big plays that he's going to give up because he is so aggressive in coverage.
Here's the other part, though, too. I'm glad you brought that back up. Is if the small guys on this team don't run and hit, it will be exposed. Because the defense is asked to do so much, the D-line is. I think Robert Saleh had a question about that this spring when he was asked, what do you want, rush or you want a lockdown corner? What was the question that he was answering that day?
I do remember he said at one point in the spring, like the most impactful way to win football games is with turnovers. He's like obsessed with creating turnovers.
And so that happens because of the rush that you have and guys being Johnny on the spot when you need them to.
The aggressiveness of the front. Yeah.
A quick out that was thrown to a tight end. And the spacing that this defense creates, the smaller guys have to be able to hit. They're going to be demanded to hit more so than I think you've seen in years past.
So positives of this defense: less blitzing, more numerical advantages on the back end, an aggressive front that is going to affect the quarterback more often than not because of what they are being asked to do. Weaknesses of this scheme: misdirection, screens, eye candy that takes advantage of your aggressiveness and then utilizes the space that you have vacated. That's probably as simply as we can put it on the weakness of this system.
Yes.
Got it. I think the question now becomes, do the Titans have the personnel needed to adjust from one system to a very different one on defense, from Denard Wilson to Robert Saleh? Do they have the tools necessary to not only play this new system, but thrive in this new system? And we'll talk about that next. 615-737-1045 as we continue to break down the film on the new Titans defensive scheme after this. Ramon Will, 104.5 The Zone, wrapping up hour number 3. Ramon doing a great job in breaking down the film on the Robert Saleh defense, the strengths and weaknesses of the new system here in Tennessee that we will get to see next week. We'll be live from Titans training camp Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, right before practice starts. Looking forward to that.
Right. Hawk, did you?
We're going to talk about this?
Do you have an idea, Hawk, before we go further?
Have an idea about the song?
Yeah.
And what it means to you?
Okay, so you do know.
Of course I
See,
know.
you the reason people be coming here. That's all they do is talk about the Steelers. It wasn't me.
Look,
I
man,
didn't ask
Ramon
for this
did not
song.
ask for this song.
I ain't asked for this song. No, I respect my job, man.
look, I just want you to know I appreciate you and the things that you do, the things that you say, the teachings and the tape breakdown that you do. We don't deserve you, but
Yeah,
you know
you
what?
do.
Here we go. This
Yeah,
is
you
a
do.
little token of appreciation because this is just a banger of a song.
It is a banger of a song.
No matter what it means for you and your dumb Steelers.
But it has a crazy attachment. The disc behind it is just a chef's kiss, too. I was just like, it wasn't me, y'all.
No,
it
it's
wasn't
not
me
you.
that asked for this one.
It's not you.
Not on this beautiful Friday.
So here's
Just
my
like the
question.
song in general.
Kudos to you, though.
Here's my question.
Yeah.
New scheme, new system.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, how different are the types of players the Titans defense needs for a Robert Saleh system versus a Denard Wilson system?
I just think some personnel that needed to be replaced has been.
Okay.
I think everybody else, like you said, and I'll give more credit to him as well. Denard Wilson did a damn good job.
I thought he did a good job considering the circumstances.
Considering the
And every time he would have a good defensive player start performing well,
Yeah.
and Draymond Jones and these different guys, they trade him. And obviously
Yes.
you should. Like the way last season went, I'm not blaming the front office for trading those guys, but I think there was rightfully in that building probably appreciation for Denard Wilson doing the job that he did considering what he was given.
Considering what he was given, like some of even the D tackles that you had, or players at a certain position, you looking like just no real corner help last year.
Right.
So with all that they brought in, I think they covered up what Denard already had here. That's
Right.
what I would say on
Okay.
that. So yeah, for the most part, not bad.
Where do the Titans, do you feel like, have the types of players that they need to run this system? Or do you just as a whole believe that Robert Saleh has the tools needed to run his system the way he wants to run it with the personnel he has been given to coach in 2026?
I think most of it he has, because only thing you're asking for is where's the youthful push in all of this. Like, only reason I bring it up, John Franklin Myers is only 29 years old, but you say to yourself, well, who's behind him? Who's the young guy? You look at the young guy, of course, and Keldrick Falk and say, okay, yeah, but then you also got Solomon Thomas has been in this league for a while.
There are a lot of vets.
There's a lot of vets.
A lot of vets.
And I think with jump-starting this defense, you went out and got in 1 year what you need to get by.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way I more or less view this defensive side of things, what Saleh needs. Like, you went and got 2 real good corners, right? 3. If you think about it in this offseason, like, you got some good bones about this defense that you were allowed to go get. Linebackers is one of the positions that was already in-house. Some of the D-tackle, Femi being here, of course, Jalen Harrell, Jeff, like, in-house already. So you give kudos to that. Safeties, one of them, the money that you've had, and you also got Winston Jr. as well. Like, there are some good bones that were here.
I think the pieces are in place for this to be a good defense if it stays healthy.
Always the case.
Do you agree?
Yeah, I do.
You think this can be a good defense?
That's been my calling card. I feel like as a show now we've adopted it. This defense is going to lead the way.
On paper, I think it looks good. I think the goal of the 2026 season is to get back to good, get back to solid, get back to league average in a lot of ways. And if that means at the end of the day you look up in the hunt graphic and you're playing meaningful football in November and December and, January, great. I wouldn't say that's the expectation. I would say that is the end goal. You aim towards being a playoff team every year in this league. A lot of one-score games that would have to go your way. There's a lot of injury luck that would have to go your way. A lot of guys who haven't performed, who are going to have to perform way better, who have been here. But all of that being said, the defense has enough to be solid with the right guys staying healthy and improving. I think John Franklin Myers and Jeffrey Simmons has potential to be one of the best interior defensive line duos in professional football. That is your identity as a defense. You are a team built around two very good pass rushers who have got to stay healthy and have got to meet their very high expectations.
I think it might have been Buck or Lucas, maybe Lucas, but John Franklin Myers has probably been the best defensive partner that Jeff's had since the Nico. Like that's it's kind of where you're getting at.
Since the Nico Autry.
Since the Nico Autry. Mm-hmm. Like that's what you're looking at. And then you look at a better year or a more mature year from Cedric Gray, like the linebacker makeup of this thing though too. Like understanding angles better. Like he was a tackling machine last year. How does he improve his game? But you're 100% correct. The makeup of this defense, you don't want to call it set, but I feel a whole lot better about this than I do the offensive side. And what also helps make this defense better is if the offense at least takes a step to keep them on the sideline.
And sustains some drives to give them time to rest and watch the film.
You've seen the reaction since you've been them 3 and outs. The defense started to look at the offense sideways. Like,
it goes quickly.
Is that part too? It goes quick. Like that's only a 2-minute break.
Like the amount of time you have to like sit down on the bench, get out a Surface tablet, correct something that didn't go well, and then, all right, we're back out there. Yeah. And even just the sign of a first third down.
Bro.
You're already putting your helmet back on and standing up because it's a field goal or punt, special teams.
Right back at it.
It goes quickly when you're down there and see the procedure of, dang, the offense just went 3 and out again. Jeff had about 90 seconds to grab a Gatorade, talk to a teammate for a second, and then here we go again. Put your helmet back on.
Then you start complaining.
Right. Where I wouldn't say concerned, where I'm curious on this defense is at edge rusher, at nickel corner, and just the middle of the defense overall. And that's kind of combining coverage linebacker play with safety play. Mm-hmm. Amani Hooker is coming off of his worst season as a starter for the Titans. Yeah. I'm going to cut him a little bit of slack considering the amount of different players he had to play with and the amount of players that were traded off of this defense the second they started playing well. I'm not totally concerned on Amani Hooker. I think we're going to see a better version of him this year. Yeah. But what about who plays next to him? What about the overall depth at safety? Yeah. Can Anthony Hill Jr. step in right away and be your field covering coverage linebacker? And on top of all of it, do you have a good enough pure speed edge rusher who you trust to get to the quarterback on 3rd and 8, on 3rd and 6? Do you have someone who just wins one-on-one with a tackle and wreaks havoc?
Yeah.
When Jeffrey Simmons gets double-teamed, when John Franklin Myers takes a down off. Those are my questions about this defense. But I think they start in the middle of the field. Can you defend the middle of the field? I don't worry as much about the outside. Mm-hmm. Can you defend the middle of the field with questions at coverage, linebacker, and safety? That's my concern and question about this defense that I'm interested to get answers on.
I got an underdog that I like in this hunt, though, too, just to see what he's going to do for preseason. Truman Jones, to me. I feel like you saw some stuff in OTAs and in minicamp that just kind of said, like, yeah, okay, this could be fascinating. Truman Jones, I got my eye on this preseason. I feel like almost more than almost any other player, just because, again, he possesses, I think, explosiveness off the edge that could be very appealing for this team. And you talk about trying to find a rush.
It'd be great.
When you're trying to find a rush.
Because I think there are players who, again, I've said it before, will just walk into the quarterback because Jeff flushes them out of the pocket. Yeah. But if you're going to rotate as many bodies as you are in and out, what about when Jeff's not on the field? Mm-hmm. What about when John Franklin Myers and Jeff aren't out there together? In a perfect world, you have them out there for every important down, but you don't know when an important play is coming, when a team has a shot play planned because you have those guys off the field. Oh. Again, in this league, you are only as good as the worst part of your given position group.
No doubt.
Especially on defense, on defensive line and corner.
When the stars aren't in.
When you can throw away or run away from an all-pro. Where's your floor? Mm-hmm. I think the floor's been raised for this franchise this season and this team this season, but how high? I'm excited to find out. Good stuff. I like this. I know it's hard for you to talk well about defensive players, so I appreciate you.
I've always hated these defenses, which means they're usually good.
A lot easier to talk about them and say good things about them when you don't have to block them. Right?
When I don't have to block them. I just hope for pain for the opposing offensive lineman now.
That's right. Coming up, fourth and final hour of the show, 20th hour of the week. Titans injury news to begin camp. We'll hit the big headline of the morning again coming up next.
A day at the spa, the perfect gift for birthdays, anniversaries, or any occasion. Lavish and luxurious, yet affordable. A grand gesture, yet simple for you. The gift card from A Moment's Peace. Give her the gift she won't buy herself. An escape, a bit of luxury. Something special that shows more than just words. A gift from A Moment's Peace Salon and Day Spa in Cool Springs across I-65 from Galleria Mall. Call 615-224-0770 or go online at amomentspeace.com anytime.
9:02. Good morning, live from the Circus Sports at the Mid-Kentucky Downs Studios. I'm Justin Hawkins. Some Titans injury news yesterday before training camp gets started next week. Right tackle J.C. Latham and safety Imani Hooker both were put on the team's PUP list with reportedly minor lingering injuries resulting from spring practice, and it's also not said to be long-term. Also, the Titans have signed tackle Zachary Thomas and while waiving tackle Ryan Hayes. Other NFL news yesterday, Panthers second-year outside linebacker Nick Scorton, who went down in day one of practice yesterday, suffered a torn ACL. Per Cameron Wolf, Scorton is seeking a second opinion, but if the ACL is confirmed, he would have surgery in the coming weeks and his season would be over before it can get started. Also, former Vanderbilt Commodores quarterback Diego Pavia was released from the Ravens yesterday. The move was said to make room for the 90-man roster for newly signed center Ethan Posick. Also, coming up tomorrow night, Nashville SC, they take their MLS-leading 39 points and 5-game winning streak on the road as they take on Orlando City SC in Orlando with kickoff set for 6:30 p.m. Central Time. You can, of course, hear the match right here on 104.5 The Zone. Pre-game will get you started at 6 o'clock. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you got to go to USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Away we go to the fourth and final hour of your Friday morning on Ramon and Will. Coming up in 15 minutes, if Friday was a radio host, Ron Saleh is his name.
Yeah, it
If
is.
the day Friday was just a person, it would be Ron Saleh. I mean that in a complimentary way. They, 3HL, are good friends, who crushed it this week, by the way, as always, at SEC Media Days. They went, Ramon, to one of my favorite places in the world this week.
What's the name?
And no, it wasn't SEC Media Days, with all due respect to SEC Media Days. It was Burns Steakhouse in Tampa Bay, Florida.
Yeah, elite.
The meal I had there is the best meal that I have had in my life. And they were there this week, so I'm going to know, and we're going to do this on air. I want to know what they ate. I want to know what they drank. I want to know what they thought about the wine cellar tour, the kitchen tour, the dessert floor, Ramon, because when you get there, they say, oh, you have a reservation for this time? Would you like for us to make a reservation for you on our dessert floor?
Huh?
Yeah. They take you to a different table to have dessert in a hollowed out wine barrel on their top floor. What? I promise you there is someone in Nashville right now nodding their head who's been there. Like, oh, Burns.
That sounds fantastic.
Elite. I know they documented it on social media, so they have at least gone public with the fact that they were there. So that's why I feel comfortable revealing all of this on air that I want to ask about it. Oh, I was so jealous.
Place looks elite.
Goodness, it's so good.
I'm looking at it right now on Yelp.
That is the first time I had a Delmonico cut of a steak.
Oh, yeah.
Was it Burns?
Delmonico's a little bit bigger of a cut, like ribeye plus something, if I'm not mistaken.
Huh? We went there for an Outback Bowl my freshman year when Josh Dobbs in Tennessee destroyed Northwestern.
That was mine.
Not yours. So I was at both your Outback Bowls, though.
Yeah.
Growing up, those were our trips we would take as a family. We're just to wherever the bowl game was.
Man, these rooms are crazy.
And then when I was in high school and college, Tennessee didn't make bowl games. So we didn't go to Tampa. That's fine. But the Outback Bowl and us are good friends. We love the Outback Bowl.
Yeah, I'm with Kronk. Is like dessert floor.
Yeah,
I'm still
a
looking.
dessert floor. I'm telling you. It is a big deal that they could even get a table there. That's why I saw that. I was like, what? You went where?
Dessert rooms. It's a real thing.
Yeah, they have the whole floor. I'm telling you. It's a core
snap.
memory for me. I'm telling you. I think about this meal like monthly. Monthly.
So when you take off-season vacation to Tampa, you're going for one reason and one reason only.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
They got to a point. I promise we'll get back to sports. They went through a point during COVID where they were booked out, I want to say like 6 months to a year in advance.
Yeah.
Like you could not get a table.
What?
Planet Neptune Q on YouTube says, Will keeps us fat with food talk. Like that French sour cream dip. You dang right. Q.
Yeah, you
Dang right.
Yeah.
I am a food guy.
Yeah.
I'm a food guy. Foodie.
A foodie.
I wouldn't call myself a foodie. I don't have sophisticated enough of a palate to call myself a foodie because I'm probably too picky of an eater to be a foodie. I'm just a food guy. I just like my places.
What is this crystal, just the cancers they keep showing?
So I was not 21 yet when we went there, so I do not know as many details about the alcohol. I did remember going, I was. I do remember going into their wine cellar, though. They have the largest privately owned wine cellar in North America, and they had a bottle of wine that was $30,000. I remember joking with my dad. I was like, are we doing tuition this year, or do you want this bottle of wine?
Sounds like money laundering to me.
Right.
No,
right.
Seriously.
That's exactly right.
I wash your money with that type of stuff. This place does look phenomenal.
Oh, it's so good.
They don't have to tell me. So they got a s'mores bread.
And you were
pudding.
just in Tampa.
I was.
Yeah, you were. Jeez. I should have told you before you went, actually. That's on me. You can blame me for that.
Look at this rack with all this meat on it, man. Goodness gracious.
All right. Anyway. J.C. Latham and Monty Hooker will start on the physically unable to perform list. We've spoken about this a lot, Ramon, from the J.C. Latham perspective. What about Monty Hooker? Any concern there for you on him this late into his career, something lingering? Not supposed to be something major. He is supposed to be on the field soon.
No, I honestly have zero concerns about Monty Hooker because when it's go time, he's always ready.
It's kind of where I'm at, too.
Yeah, like I don't. And this, we speak about, there's no fairness in this game called football, not even a little bit, man. But I trust the fact that he'll be ready when necessary in these type of moments right here. The only concern I have about Monty Hooker is the fact that it's happening later in his career. What year is this for Monty? Year 8?
Was drafted in 2019. This would be year 8.
Year 8 for him. You know,
flew by too. I feel like he just got here.
I feel like straight up, like it just happened, man. So that's the only thing of concern when you look at just the age, when this injuries happen, or when this PUP list situation is happening for him, and you don't want this to be the start of the decline. Now, here's the other part. We've witnessed and talked about this before. Just because guys have down years or have situations in which you think they're done. I think Kevin Byard's kind of proven that wrong a little bit when you judge how he's extended his career and also how he's played.
I would agree.
So that's why I don't worry about Amani, though, as well, because I've seen the level of play that he can provide for this team, which puts us in a different conversation about J.C. Latham.
Yeah.
For me, he's not had a lot of soft tissue injuries, so it's more structural damage, foot, shoulder, knees. That he's dealt with in his career. So I'm not as worried about it in that standpoint, unless this currently is a soft tissue thing, because you don't want something soft tissue now to go through training camp while your fibers in your muscles are trying to heal.
So what does that mean for people that are hearing you speak like a trainer right now, Hawk?
Yeah, so
the fibers in your ankle, where do you get at with that?
Any type of strain in your muscles, you're tearing fibers. That doesn't matter if you're grade 1 to grade 3. There's always fibers that are being torn in your muscle. So it depends on how the healing process is going. The quicker the process, you just want to make sure that by the time you get back to your return to play, that those fibers have healed. Because if they're still a little bit strained, a little bit inflamed, then it's going to be easier. That's why you have these lingering issues. They're chronic at that point.
Okay.
It's just going to re-injure itself. That's just how that works.
Sure.
Pretty much.
I know we got a comment earlier from Brian on YouTube who says, I'm more concerned they paid Hooker and he's hurt again. Amani Hooker did get a contract extension right before last season, a 3-year, $40.5 million deal. The way that money breaks down, though, you can get out of that deal after this season with only a $5.7 million dead cap hit. It was essentially a little bit of a bump up and tack on a year kind of contract. It could go through 2028 if you want it to, and I'm not trying to get rid of Amani. I think Amani could have a bounce back year this year and he could still be a part of this defense in 2027, but I wouldn't let the fact that he just got a contract really cloud your judgment of him, so to speak, because there's still a really easy way to get out of that if you wanted to.
Right.
And plus, Ramon, they got plenty of money. They are still the team with, I think, the second most cap space available right now going into the season. Money is not a major concern. I know you want to make good investments.
No doubt.
I get that. But right now, cap space is not remotely a concern for this team.
No, it's not.
Not in the short term.
And that's why, again, I don't view his situation the same as a young guy who's up on the PUP list like this too. And again, you brought in some safety nets behind it too. Of course, you got Tony Adams that is here as well, that knows and understands this defense.
There's not a ton of safety net
It's not,
safety.
But at least you have the experience of Tony Adams, who's played in this defense before, and you hope, of course, Kevin Winston Jr. gets up to speed to where if Amani does have to be down, I mean, it's just more experience for the young fella to kind of assist the depth of the secondary.
Question for you on safeties.
Yeah.
Maybe getting a little in the weeds here, but we like to do that from time to time. Is the safety position becoming more important as offenses play more big personnel?
Mm-hmm. It is.
As McVay and Shanahan want to have more 2 and 3 tight end sets. To me, you would think that having a more physical guy that can cover space and defend the run or the pass at any given play, it feels to me like safety becomes more valuable as tight end becomes more valuable.
It's rotating back around. The trend is coming back.
It is.
It's the same way. We're getting back to a more run-style offenses in the NFL. Well, run-heavy. We're talking about 12 and 13 personnel situation. We're talking about fullbacks. We're talking about having a yin and a yang backfield. You got to have a bigger back in this. Offensive linemen, I feel like, are being brought in bigger in the NFL right now. And it just goes back to this is the cycle that we're on right now. And, yes, the other side of that is safeties become more and more important for run fits. It becomes more and more important, but as far as being able to run down the field with bigger tight ends, or at least speed guys at tight end that they'll try to find mismatches on. Put a safety on them instead of a linebacker. You might see 3 safety sets. Like, there's a lot that kind of goes into the support side of the offense transition to more run heavy.
I wonder, just a player we've not talked a ton about, I wonder how James Williams takes advantage of his new scheme this offseason and this training camp, because having a converted safety linebacker, Ramon, to me, looks like something you would love to have at your fingertips if you're Robert Saleh.
You would, because of his knowledge of operating in space.
Right.
The issue that he has, I guess, is he's turned into a linebacker that's learning how to play that position. And I don't know how to feel about James Williams at this point.
I like what I see from him when he has a mindset of get downhill and hit somebody. I worry about the rest of it with him. Right? Is that fair?
That's where I'm at, because when it got real as far as processing the play, the scheme, and physicality, said Gray took over.
I think he would run himself out of the right play sometime by being so aggressive getting downhill.
And maybe that's the transition from the third level to the second level, that type of space, right? Sure. But Cedric Gray took that opportunity and ran with it. I think most of us in the Nashville media had, of course, James Williams winning that battle. I'll speak for myself. I did. And then Cedric Gray shows you the difference in a guy that's seasoned to play this position versus, a guy learning, and you're hoping that he's going to play that position.
He's another player it's easy to get excited about because of how athletic he is.
Yes.
We love athletes as football fans.
Yes, we do.
We love athletes. And I don't blame any fan for buying stock there.
Athletes and projects.
Yeah. Kind of one and the same.
Yeah.
Kind of one and the same, yeah. Coming up, Ron Slade joins us. We're going to ask about Burns because I want to know what he ordered, how it was.
I know. I just want to hate on him.
Yeah, well, okay. And then we'll let Ramon hate on his brother, who joins us next. What's going on? It's Will Bowling from my friends at Brentwood Jewelry. Brentwood Jewelry has been helping guys and girls make big purchases in Middle Tennessee and in Brentwood for quite some time. Family owned and operated for over 50 years. And I love working with Brentwood Jewelry in the big decisions that I had to make for my wedding a month ago. Going all the way back to buying an engagement ring, they walked me through the process, helped me understand what I was looking for, the different styles, the different options. And they understand that when you walk in their doors, you are ready to make a big investment, maybe for yourself and maybe for someone you really care about, Brentwood Jewelry, you get the feeling of that family-owned business when you walk in the door. Open Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 6, Saturday, 9 to 4, 7012 Church Street East, located in the heart of Brentwood, just off Franklin Road. Check out more about their selections online at BrentwoodJewelry.com. That's Brentwood Jewelry. Exceptional style, exceptional deals every day for over 50 years. Ramon Will on 104.5 The Zone continues here in hour number 4. And, of course, you know that's Ron Slay's music. Who has been working this week? All of 3HL has been working this week. There he is.
Look at him. Fed.
Bright-eyed and bushy-tailed.
Relaxed. I'm here to hate. I ain't here to congratulate.
I just love it. Is so classic of this show and of this segment that before the break, I'm building up Slay, I'm building up 3HL. I want to hear about Burns. I want to hear about it all. And Ramon just goes, "No, I want to hate."
That's what I want. I want to hate, man. It looked like a real good time down in Tampa, and I just left from down there. Okay, I had a good time too. That's how I know it was a good time. 'Cause he ain't had no kids. Well, he had Zeph. He had Zeph.
You get two Zeph like that.
I'm gonna do Zeph.
Soon to be dad.
I might
Zeph.
I might be new to the Titans playing this year because he was on it last year, but he's still a rookie to me. I'm walking in with experience.
My first question,
Get my bag.
Ron Slay, is: has Joseph come down from the high of DGG picking Tennessee yet?
I know. No, he
His
literally.
fellow Canadian.
I was telling somebody. It might have been when we was on air. I don't know. Listen, all this stuff done ran together. But hey, dog, Zeph had the phone on, the iPad on, and was asking me or Alyssa, "What are you watching?" I'm like, dog. I said, hey man, I just put my head down, had my cigar.
Everyone knew where he was committing. It's not like it was a surprise.
Hey man, I'm just got my head down, hitting my cigar. Like, man, this is a different level, man. And I love the Vols.
I do too.
I'm talking about I bleed it, man. But this right here, I don't know if I can compare to that.
I mean, I watched it, but I wasn't like.
I watched it for a second, and then I was like, I know where he's going. Like, it's not going to be. So I went on to turn our regular show back on, and then just started scrolling. Was like, I'll let him handle it. The funny part about it though is when he picked it, he was like he said, what a surprise. Like, you the one built it up. Like, you were the only one building it up.
You got a dang NFL Red Zone quad box on one stream.
Hey,
man, what a surprise.
He's mad. He was let down.
This is the dynamic we need on our show. Because we get the perspective of the fanatic too.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So when you able to like go crazy for it, you know what I mean? It'd be like, man, this ain't really that. And then you get to hear his perspective. It's like, damn, people probably really feel like this.
Especially the way high school recruiting is now. It's easy to get cynical because these guys transfer so much.
Yep.
But no, this recruitment's old school, man. This is an exciting one.
No question, man. It was interesting. But
it's all out of love, Zeph, just so you know. I'm going to run with it. You know me.
I can't wait.
His fellow Canadian.
Listen to me. This is what I can't wait. I kept hitting Savage. I said, boy, I can't wait for you to experience Zeph on the road. This is all I'm looking forward to. I'm just like,
I can confirm.
Like, I'm here for all. Listen, me and Savage talk every day. I'm burning that man phone down. I'm like DGG trying to commit again. Savage, what he doing? What he say? What's happening? Where y'all at now, Savage?
Should I just live stream the two of them to you on Titans Trips?
Yeah, Will. Do that for me, dog. For my pleasure, my good pleasure. I'm talking about each week. I ain't going to get tired of it.
Because one of the the low-key thing I'm so excited about for Titans Trips this year is that we have another person to stress watch Tennessee games with. That Ramon is going to be stress watching the balls. I know.
You don't want this.
You've watched games with me before. Like you and I are good watching games together. But yeah. I know it's different.
Well,
we watched games together.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
and I've gotten better. I was probably like this years ago, but I've gotten better.
He passed you, Will.
Oh, good.
Oh, you.
No, that's what I want to hear.
Yeah, he in the deal. Yeah, he like Jay-Z said, I'm about to pass you twice.
I turn 29 next week. I'm trying to grow out of the anxiety watching football games.
Every high and low moment you get in it.
Oh, 10 toes.
I'm talking about in it. And if you, all right.
I mean it. But I did hear you talking about Burns Steakhouse.
Oh my gosh, I love that place so much, man.
Listen, man, great experience.
What'd you get?
Babs had a
of course, Babs.
She had a ball. And the reason she had a ball was from when we walked in, because I told her once we got there, I was like, man, Tampa, I'm going landing on some beach wear or something and be cool. You know, we're going to build, you know what I mean?
You uncify that thing.
Yeah, man. Got me two fits, you know what I mean? I'm like, I'm cool. So when I got there, I was looking around. I was like, this is probably a dress code here. You know what I mean?
The pants thing is legit there.
Yeah, the pants thing is legit. Like, and I thought they were going to make you do a blazer, but I was like, okay, I walked up and there was some people didn't have blazers. Like, all right, cool. The pants thing, so I walk in and I kind of stand over to the side. I like, I can feel the eyes of the manager. I ain't even going to trip, though. You know what I mean? I'm just going to sit here, play my part till they call our table. They was getting ready to call our name. The lady walked up to me and was like, let me holler at you real quick. I got to tell you, we do have a dress code here.
Wow.
We got to have pants on. But listen, you got two options. You can't go in the lounge and enjoy the dinner and everything. Or, you know what I mean, we do have a section upstairs where we dry clean pants every day because this happens more than you think. We got 26 through 46.
Get out of here.
I said, man, y'all ain't got no 42. She said, no, we do. I said, okay, let's go see it. I said, all right. We walk up the steps. She's like, I appreciate you, you know what I mean, didn't make a fuss. And I said, man, listen, there's rules.
Yeah,
I ain't tripping off that, you know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
If it is, then I got to leave. There ain't no ifs, ands, or buts about this.
It's worth it for the food there, too.
You know what I mean? So I go up there, she give me the little pants. She like, you want to try these on? I was like, yeah, I just slide these on my shorts, you know what I mean? I don't know. I hear y'all saying y'all dry clean them, but you know what I mean?
That's fair.
Yeah, spandex around the waistline and all that. So I go and slide them on, you know, roll on out. And when I'm coming down the steps, I can hear Babs laughing because the lady said...
She videoed it.
Yeah, the lady hollered out, well, guess what? You get to show off your shoes. I was like, I got the lemons on. I'm sorry, fresh out the box. So I'm like, okay, I see what this is going to be. You know what I mean? Everybody look joke time on me. Okay, cool. I'm here for the experience.
It was your day.
It's my day, and I understand that. I'm okay with that. Everybody got it. So come on down the steps, you know what I mean? Them things, I tried to sag them a little bit. That didn't work. So I said, you know what? Let me just pull them all the way.
Just rock it.
Yeah, let me just own it. You know what I mean? They short daddies. That's what it is. And rolled on out with it. But dog, they take us through great atmosphere, the ambiance, man. It's like you go into another dimension, honestly.
Wow.
It takes you back in time to probably when it was set up.
Yep.
Take us all the way back to our dining room was in the back on the left. Probably about 8 different tables in there, about 3 or 4 different couples. We sit down in our section. Got your own waiter, man. I got Lee, who was amazing. Give you the whole rundown of everything. I had the filet.
People don't appreciate the filet.
No, you should.
Sometimes you just got to run the ball. Just run the ball.
That's it. You know what I mean? And
it's
I had
first
8
and
ounce.
10. Don't need to go deep. Just run the ball. Get 6 yards. Get 8 yards.
The dude was like, man, I'm telling you now, like, you going to eat. We got all the sides. But you probably want to save room for dessert. I'm like, all right, so I'm going to go light. You know what I mean?
For 8 ounce filet. Floor.
The onion, they had the onion rings.
Nice.
That's the thing, too. They got an designated onion cutter. Like, that's a thing, like the French onion soup and stuff.
They got a tableside baked Alaska upstairs.
Savage gives me that look.
Did you do the kitchen tour?
Dude, yes, we did. Onion rings didn't need no ketchup.
You did the whole thing.
I didn't touch
You did
no
the whole
sauce.
The onion ring.
Man, Dre, I didn't even put no fork in them. I started picking them up with my hand.
I hate you.
I'm telling you, this place is so good.
Whoa, this
I was
is good.
so jealous when I saw your thing.
French onion soup, phenomenal. I ordered the only appetizer, salt. They has salt and vinegar.
Why you got to make that
chips.
face?
Homemade salt and vinegar chips
Ramon
sandwich.
said before the break, he said, I'm just going to hate on this.
With like a aioli, like on, you know how well we have with the aioli right now. The aioli on the side, but it made it like when you dip the chip in, it was like a Cool Ranch.
Yeah.
I want to cuss you out so bad.
That's what I wanted to tell Lee. I told Lee that too. You know what I mean?
Not me.
Yeah, not Will Lee. Yeah, the other Lee.
You want to cuss me out sometimes. It's not as much as you used to.
Dude, this is where it goes. So we finish it up. Dog, I had wine. Yeah. You know, I ain't need no wine drinker.
You not?
Nah, I jumped on out there. Good red wine. I had to get Babs to tell you about it because you know I don't know the names and everything. But phenomenal. Knocked that down about 4 glasses. Took the tour.
Love it.
Of the kitchen, the wine cellar.
Yes.
What is
the
it,
wine cellar is awesome.
What is it, 600?
It's the largest privately owned wine cellar in North America.
Yeah.
Is the way it was explained to me when I was there.
6,000.
And I was there 11 years ago, and I still remember all of this.
From 1904 all the way up. They got their own dry age.
Yeah.
Where they hang the meat.
Where they hang
it's
the
Southern
meat.
St. Elmo.
Dude.
Okay.
It's like Southern St. Elmo.
It's sick.
Okay.
Yeah.
108, what?
I like this.
185,000 pounds. I think they had 85,000 pounds of
meat.
dry aged meat back there right then at that time.
Meat on top of meat out there.
Stop, boy. Hey, so then we go on
better
through.
chill.
They like, all right, y'all want to go to the dessert floor. So when he takes us to the dessert floor, Lee drops us off. It's a whole different restaurant. Like you don't even have to go to Burns down low. You can go to, it's RHW. I forgot the name of it.
Yeah.
But you can go up there. They got their own hostess. They bring you in. All the wine they've collected, in the wine barrels, that's what they made the rooms out of, the wine barrels.
Yeah, the hollowed out barrel.
Dude, they got speakers in the rooms. You got the phone with the pianist is playing. Yeah. You can pick up the phone, call the pianist, and be like, hey, could you play that Lionel Richie for me? Hang up, and they'll start playing it. Like, it's insane, dog. Dessert's phenomenal. I had the warm butter cake, strawberry.
My favorite dessert in the world.
Warm butter cake, vanilla ice cream, and strawberries. I had to get them little chocolate chips on that joint. You know what I mean?
You know it's going to be good with the amount of time we've spent on every detail here, and I want every detail.
It's amazing.
It's so good.
Real.
Hey man,
it's the experience.
Anyway, over there.
I will say shout out to Jim Nance. The spot in Commander's Palace, be cool. Commander's Palace that he turned us on to in New Orleans. Steak is better though.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, bird steak is good. Don't get listen. 8.5.
All right.
9. And
on the Slay scale, that's very good.
Man, that the only 10 I've had outside my dog when he put them blue cheese crumbles on there is Commander's Palace.
Okay.
Commander's Palace steak down in New Orleans.
All right.
Lord.
Cool.
That's the only place I've never used sauce.
Whenever we play the Saints.
Yes,
we'll be down there.
Marching in.
I did. My guy Lee did have some A1 tucked in the back. I had to get it.
You just tap it.
I said, I don't even want to use it. I just want to just.
I know that's how you ask him too.
And guess what he said? I'm the same way. I said, Lee, that's why I rock.
You just like me for real. Ron Slay with us in studio.
Even ain't real.
For his weekly visit. So, moving to the football that was discussed in Tampa.
Yeah.
By the way, they calling you bougie right now. Just so you know.
Guess what? It's the life.
He said so.
The life think I worked this hard to go back.
It means they're paying attention.
Sound like a fool.
You think I worked this hard for the drive?
I did that part already. Let me do this part. Let me experience it.
So Slay's going to say, follow me around one day of the SEC tournament.
I'm done. I'm not about to hype my dog.
Follow Ron Slay one day at the SEC tournament, and you'll be like, you know what? And you deserve it.
That is what's crazy is we did talk a little bit, and he tried to call me in between sets and stuff. Well, here's the issue right here. He's calling at a football SEC media day. He couldn't stop like he the freaking Pope with people asking for prayers.
You need to stop, man.
Well, I thought you meant Alyssa Lang's dog, too, which is really exciting. Marvel.
Yeah, that's my guy.
Marvel is, it's just one of the many people or animals that wanted to meet Ron Slay.
That's right.
Yeah.
Uncle
he's
Slay,
greeting dogs out here like he's the Pope.
Slay,
yeah,
man.
Anyway, from our perspective here,
you
guys crushed it, first of all, as always. Did a great job.
Appreciate it, man.
Josh Heupel seemed to be relaxed. And he's always relaxed with you guys because you guys have developed a good relationship with him and do a great job interviewing him. And he gives it back to you thinking that you've taken it easy on him in the boom boom room. And I love y'all's give and take. But the whole day, he seemed relaxed. Did you get that vibe too?
Yeah. I think on the podium in front of everybody when he was addressing, I think it's coach talk a little bit. But once you get him in the room running the gauntlet of the media, the ones he's going to stop at, you can feel it's relaxed. You know what I mean? Going to answer all questions. It's going to be genuine answers. If you ask the right question, he'll go in depth about it. But he comfortable, man. I do believe he knows what he has. And I think the thing that's making him relaxed in this situation is the expectations are coming from in-house instead of everybody else around him this time. You know what I mean? Usually you hear everybody saying what they got to live up to, who they need to be. I think with the questions around the quarterback, who it is, everybody's wait and see, and I think it's beautiful for him. You know what I mean? And the program, because talking to the players, you talking about guys, man, the leadership.
Yeah, it's impressive.
It is, dog. I'm going to be real. And that's coming from each side of the ball. Because you got to talk to the AC, we got to talk to T-Lander, and then also had a chance to talk to Deshaun Bishop.
Man, he crushed it.
Dude,
they all crushed it.
Yeah, it's like you can feel the vibes from the team. And I can only imagine being in the room. You know what I mean? Right. And the defensive side, the way they've dove into what Jim Knowles is presenting them and how much they think we feel listening to them that we got to grasp this in order to be good. And we got to grasp it first in order to teach everybody else behind us so it can't be no mistakes. That's pretty impressive. So I think they're on the right track, man.
Did you learn anything about the quarterback battle? Because I remember last year when y'all had Miles Kitselman on and he said, Joey's already got an invite to our wedding. Like, oh, wow. He's made quite a strong impression.
Yeah.
Do you leave there with any clearer picture of who the starting quarterback's going to be?
They did a great job of covering it up.
Okay.
They did.
I figured they would.
Yeah, I mean, we asked every one of them, you know what I'm saying? And everybody, you know, kind of phased it out and was like, man, both of them have their strengths. You know what I'm saying? Both of them still working. So with that being said, I just think you look at it, man. I love G-Mac. I love Faison. I just think you look at it and say, a guy that's had a 3-year jump with a head start, this shouldn't be a conversation. The fact that it is a conversation is saying it is a battle, and I would give the edge to a guy like Faison because it's a conversation.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Then you look at the pictures they put out, man, I didn't expect him to gain that much weight.
Yeah. They both look really good.
This strength coach, man, this a lot of people say it's starting in strength and conditioning.
It does.
It started there. I just heard y'all talk about the Titans defense. If you're not in shape, you can't play.
No.
And it looks like it's the same exact thing, dude. They want to play at a different speed, a different pace, a different strength. Looking at these dudes, Deshaun Bishop, like he was ready to bust out of his entire suit. Like he might as well took his sleeves off his coat. Like, dude, it was like, whoa.
If he'd have walked up there with a sleeveless suit, you'd have understood it.
I respect that, bro. I respect that. Like, it probably would have cost too much to go on and tailor it a special way to go on. Just go on and rip the sleeves off.
Leave the
dog.
sleeves. I'm cool.
Yeah, I'm straight with that.
Cool.
No doubt.
I have to ask you because it damn near became viral. Though you finally stumped him.
Got him.
You got him, hyper.
Got him.
You got him so good.
Got him.
I was just like, you turn
Yeah.
twist it right now,
Yeah.
coach.
You and the NCAA rule book.
See?
Stop, Josh.
Exactly.
I bet he won't call you soft no more.
Play them games again. See, my reps, man.
How does that medicine taste? Your own flavor?
They don't know. Yeah, they don't know me and my reps be talking. You know what I mean? And my reps threw me something out there. I was like, okay, all right. Well, let me go and hit them with this right here. Put a little twist on it. Since you so cool and calm in this thing, yeah. Let's see if you answer this one.
I don't think I've ever seen him more flustered.
No, he wasn't.
Honestly, I don't think. I know it didn't register to my mind. It was a legal question.
Yeah, no.
But Savage asked him,
Yeah.
"Who's the best high school running back he's seen?"
That you've seen.
You
Jamal
would.
Lewis or DGG.
Knowing that he can't answer the
That's
question.
it. Yeah.
He is not allowed to
technically,
answer the question.
He's stuck in the boom boom
Yeah.
room.
You really can't get
He's
out.
one of the lost souls.
First
right now.
time. First
Yeah,
time.
wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, he's always jumped up out of there thinking he all cool.
So next year's Big Orange Caravan, when signing day has happened, and DGG, we hope, signs with Tennessee, he'll be able to get out of the boom boom.
Yeah.
He'll be able to answer that question.
Yeah, and I'll let him out. I'll let him out then. So we'll see how that goes.
Y'all exchange a relationship so super fun.
That's my guy,
Yeah,
man. I
it's
mess
awesome.
with him, man. I'm a good dude.
He is.
Yeah.
Any other conversations or teams, random teams, guys you thought you would like or maybe you didn't think you'd like that stood out to you down
Man,
there?
I think that's the thing about this. I was telling I did an Auburn podcast down there.
Auburn
and
family.
It was like it asked me the same thing, and I'm like, dog, the thing about this situation is the characters that they bring, they are what you want your program to be like. You want it to mirror this. So they're a representation of that. You walk away thinking like, dude, I can't stand Alabama. Can't stand Florida. Can't stand Vandy. You know what I mean? But after you see the representation of these guys, man, you like, damn.
Want them to
I
succeed.
want them to do good, man. You know what I mean? Those like good kids because you learn the background story of them. You know what I'm saying? How open they'll be.
Yeah.
This was one of the first times I think that everybody was open. Really? Sometimes guys come up a little guarded, don't really want to share their story. But, man, being able to talk, and I guess us being comfortable in who we are, too, and talking about anything that we've been through kind of opens the door for them, and especially from an athlete to a former athlete to a current athlete. You can kind of feel the vibes when you first come up and hit them up. It's like, oh, okay.
Like I'm cool here.
This one of us. Okay,
Yeah.
all right. What's up, bro? You know what I mean? And you get to talking, and you throw them in the boom boom room, and I think it disarms them. So you look at it, and I think we all do a great job of questioning. But then for them to be open, Junior Sherrill, I already knew his story, but I expect some good things out of him. Kamario, K1 out of Mississippi
State.
Like, dude, yeah. The big fella, the DN from Arkansas, North Little Rock, Arkansas. Expect some good things out of him. Like, it's some dude.
I
it's
love
some
Nick
good
Harper,
guys.
too, on the show.
Nick,
I called his track races when he was in high school.
Nick's another one.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And just like to hear the maturity and him being like, you know what? man, I had to make a decision. Like, it's either going to be track or football. I had to go all in on football. I was like, man, dude, that's what it's about, man, because your knock is you going to run away every time. And if you leaving for sure. Are you going to catch the ball?
Yeah.
Are you going to get your routes precise enough to be able to really not have to use your speed, but you can use the precision of your route to break off? Like, dog, you got a lot of talent, man. Dude, he done lost weight.
Has he?
Like, from when I saw him his freshman year, he looked like a Herculean chiseled out of Greek mythology. Like, it's...
A lot of teams wanted him to play edge rusher.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do remember that part of his recruitment.
So now you look at him and, man, he done slimmed up. He was like, man, they keep on talking about I'm 240. I'm not no 240. I'm like, he's like, I take it, though. I want to keep saying that. Like, man, I'm like 220. Like, and you can look at him and see how lean, you know what I mean, but still chiseled he is. I'm like, yeah, Lenore Sellers is, man, they got... It's some, SEC gonna be fun, dog.
His top speed is probably higher now than it was when he was running track. Like his technique wouldn't be as good because he's out of practice probably, but like he's probably faster now. He's lighter.
Dude's an animal, and he gonna need him to be. Shane Beamer is in order to keep that job. Sellers too. So
I was gonna say you felt of all the coaches that Shane was under the gun.
Yeah, and I think but this year he came in.
Though.
Yeah, he was, so we didn't get to see that. I think 2 years ago when he came in, like he was a little bit frantic. He didn't want to do the interview. When he sat down, he was cool, but he was trying to get out of there. This year was like, man, all right. Okay. It is what it is.
If I do, I'm good. If I don't, then
you know
I
what
know.
I'm saying? Yeah. So.
I'll tell you one that was super quick that I thought y'all had a lot left to get in. That was at Auburn's coach.
Golish.
Golish.
Yep.
Y'all barely got into that conversation.
Him and Stein from Kentucky. We didn't get a chance to dive all the way in, man. The energy was great. It was kind of Golish's fault because he went in so much depth in the question that was asked. You know what I mean? We didn't get to keep going. So, but he's confident too.
He's a killer, man.
They quarterback.
Golish is.
They quarterback, man. Dude look good. Dude, like size-wise, hands, huge.
He's
like
an NFL prospect, too.
I heard just that transition from a smaller school to a big school, him telling Byron Brown, no, everything you do is watched now. Like, I wonder what that was like on Auburn campus. Like, what did he do to say, oh, this is different than being at UCF? You know?
USF.
Yep.
Yeah.
USF.
Like, I will say, man, like to every athlete that you felt a connection with, I thought the coolest thing was, man, after we finished the interview, being able to rap with them and tell them about their platform, what you have right here, how much this counts. You being able to talk to people, see people, them see you in this light, and you be yourself all the time, show your personality, like, and all of them being open and like, hey, man, lock in with me. You know what I mean? Like, because you don't got to be that. You know what I mean? You running the gauntlet, you can be like, you know what, man, all right, cool, baby.
Yeah, right.
Get on out. You know what I mean? But they were real receptive of it, so that was dope.
Ron Saleh with us in studio. There was some big local hoops news this week. Some good news for Vanderbilt basketball that we could talk about with Ron Saleh. As, even during SEC Media Days time and week, we're going to talk a little hoops with Ron Saleh coming up next.
It's Ramon Foster for Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical, man. Nobody likes dealing with any of those issues. Your plumbing, your HVAC, or electrical at all. Most of the time, you don't know what it will cost you, if it'll get fixed right, or if someone's just trying to sell you something that you don't need. I do know when you reach out to Hiller, the experts, they solve your problems quickly, and the price you chose is the price that you would actually pay with no hidden fees or surprises on your bill at all. Hiller's been in business for over 35 years and are family owned and operated. Their techs, super professional, super experienced, super trustworthy when they come to your home. And the cool part is when they are on their way, you'll receive a photo of the tech and a link to track them in real time so you're not sitting around wasting your time. They believe in 100% satisfaction guarantee every single time because their motto is happy you'll bill, the service is free. Now, that's something to really wager good service on, man, but they provide it every single time. To learn more about Hiller, simply head over to happyhiller.com.
Wrapping up the show on Ramon and Will. Another good week, another good morning. Appreciate you hanging out. I am off to Orlando today. Nashville SC, Orlando City. Tomorrow night here on 104.5 The Zone.
You get about the same time on the road like NFL team does? Like they get a time to fly in and chill at the hotel and hit the city?
This is my first time going with them, so I'll find out a lot. It's going to be fun.
There you go.
I'm excited. Yes, sir. Gabe Neesmith, Ron Slay, has reclassified from the class of 2027-2026. He will be added to Mark Byington's Vanderbilt roster this upcoming season as the rich get richer, and a program that also has high expectations of making a second weekend run at least. They would probably prefer third weekend run at least in college basketball this year. Gets a little bit better. I mean, I know 2 years ago was loaded.
Yeah.
Are we about to see an even better SEC as Vanderbilt gets a little bit stronger again?
I honestly believe so. Being up there, watching what Vandy is doing, bringing Neesmith in, letting him get eligible like this, that gives you more athleticism, more size on the wing, and then you know what his lineage is. Like, what is his cousin, Aaron Neesmith? This is either his cousin or his brother, either younger brother, younger cousin, or something like that.
Yeah.
But he's related, and it ain't far off. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
He, you know what you're getting in that is. And then you got a top 2, top 3 point guard in the country. No ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Cousins.
Yeah, they're cousins.
Yep.
Okay, so yeah, they got some building. Byington understands who they are, and this is where you see a guy that comes in and start to really get his guys in this program and be able to push. Arkansas is another, being able to talk to their guys up there on the football. You know it's something when you talking to the football SID. And we start talking about basketball.
Wow.
And he walked away and said, I'm telling you, this is a special class right here he got coming in. I'm like, okay, because you know the hype around it that you get with Cal, but he was like, dude, this is a little different. So that's going to be interesting to watch. You know Florida. Tennessee, though. Tennessee, dog, I think they got heads turning. Yeah. And I did an Alabama show, and the first thing they said was, you know, it's different, man, when we sitting here on SEC Media Day football and we got to get into basketball. Like, that shows you where DeBoer is compared to Oates.
Yeah, it's
You know
true.
what I'm saying? That show you where Tennessee is with Barnes at the helm. You're like, this is an Alabama show. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they were talking about, I'm like, yeah, that says something, because this was never a conversation. I think you hear Commissioner Sankey. Commissioner Sankey said the same thing. When he told basketball, hey, dog, we got to get on the ball. We had 3 teams make the tournament. We got to change that. And he said everybody was laughing. Like, we need all our teams in the NCAA tournament. He said they start laughing. He said, you know what's funny? Softball laughed too. Ooh. When I told them. And then, look, every single softball team made it.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So he said if you look at it like it's always funny till it happened. But that's the pressure you're putting on these people. So
It's the Sankey effect.
it is.
That's cold-blooded right there, man.
Definitely.
Goodness. Savage, I almost feel like you done told us your whole life story.
Hey,
since
man,
you've been gone.
guess what? And there's so much missing, Savage. I'm going to be real.
How was Brenton down there? Did he have a good
Man,
time?
he was cool, man.
Brenton.
It was cool. He was cool. My guy had a good time, man.
Good, man. I ain't seen much of him on social media. That's why I was worried.
Yeah,
My guy Brenton there.
It's a lot of work down
I
there.
got Brenton. No, it was a good time, dog. Everybody was good, dog. It was good connecting
awesome.
with the SEC people, ESPN people, good conversations behind the scenes. You know, they revealed that the media day is coming back to Nashville next year down at the Omni, so that'll be dope, you know what I mean, for it being in the city. So it's going to be fun, dog. It's going to be a good season. The coaches, like, they are who they are. Nobody expected Lane to run the gauntlet. He didn't. He got up and filibustered.
He really was pouring on the I'm wholesome again gimmick.
Yeah. And
it's a gimmick.
I got to go. No, I'm going to tell y'all what you tune in for. Y'all tune in for Saturday, Marty and McGee, because they did get a sit down with him.
They're the only ones, right?
Of course.
Yeah. Wow. I think he might have jumped on with Saban and them on the desk for a hot second.
They have to.
But he had to go this, and this was the first time they talked since doing that interview.
Because Marty was
Marty was
exactly.
the one. Marty was the Lane Kiffin beat reporter.
It was early in the morning, too.
Yeah. If you listen to
at the airport,
you go back and listen to that podcast. He put a little insight on it of what the question is they're gonna ask him and how they've kind of been ghosted.
So it's Saturday morning.
Marty and McGee gonna be a good.
All right. Good to know.
We already there. Marty McGee doing Saturdays again.
It's on and popping, man. It's time to get to it, baby.
It's fall camp week next week. You know what else is next week?
What's that?
It's training camp 2026. It's football.
Sam's, I'm sorry.
Football.
We on the back porch now, though. and the outdoor kitchen almost done.
Yeah, we right
We're
there,
on the back
man.
porch.
Back at it Monday morning. Got a weekend break. We will talk to you on training camp week, bright and early, 6 a.m. Monday.
But y'all know how it is going into the weekend. Don't get too mindless, man. Call your people, check on your people, man. Love your people. Have a random conversation with somebody that you do not know. Maybe even buy them a drink or some Kool-Aid or some wings, maybe. Don't matter, Will. Don't matter. But y'all know how we rock, man. We're more alike than we are different, man, because ELE, man, everybody love everybody, no matter what they say. And we know who they are. Peace.
I'm a good friend.